What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch in the Rube, presented by Skymint Premium Cannabis, inspiring people to do better, be better, love better, look better. Just be better parents, be better lovers, be better friends. Everything better. And our Wednesday Christmas Bonanza show, also brought to you by our friends at Front 43 and Cask & Company and Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Download the app today. Play the games now this weekend like Jason and I do. Every time we win money, Firekeepers is helping us out. Every time we lose money, it's on Firekeepers too. But we appreciate them nonetheless. And Front 43 and Cask & Company, great holiday meal kits available at caskandcompany.com right now if you're looking to make the holidays easy for you, but you want a cool meal. And look, I've done these. I know people have. They are fantastic. Jason, how you doing, man?
Happy holidays, buddy. This is the last show of the year, right?
This is it.
Okay. We're gonna make it a good one.
We are.
I hope.
We got a lot to do today. So we're going to talk some MSU basketball here off the jump. We're going to have Harry Gagnon on, and we're going to pick some games. We're going to go over the Michigan State Peach Bowl game a little bit. We'll get into the Michigan-Georgia game, some of the things he likes, and then we're going to take your Twitter questions. We've got a lot of really good ones, so we're going to do that. So I think this will be fun.
Why do they have you guys sit where you are at LCA? Isn't that kind of weird? Like it feels like everybody is like looking at you. You're at a spotlight. You know what I mean? You guys are
they're good seats.
Different. Yeah, I know. But it just seems people around. It's like real bright, and you guys are on like a pedestal almost.
You got a little podium. Yeah, you're up a little bit. Yeah, a lot of people came and said hi. Some friends of the show, and
cool.
that was cool. And that was yeah.
Tell them to stay 6 feet away.
I
Too close, bro. Back up.
I did not do that. I did not. Perhaps I should have. Including a good listener, Steven, who came up and just talked about how much the show meant to him, and it was fun to chat with him, and just want to give him a shout out as well. Those seats where we were when in the Pistons games, that's not where media is. That's because I recognized the spot. I was like, last time I was here, I was drunk with my wife, and because we had those.
Were you guys doing dirty dancing scenes?
We were not,
stands,
but we got those passes that were like $1,200. Because we're connected like that.
Damn. 12. What do you mean $1,200 passes?
I told this story, right?
I don't know.
We were in that suite that was through friends who are through the former Pistons owner.
Oh, Bill Davidson.
Davidson's family.
Mm.
Yeah. So his son is married to a family friend.
Nice.
He's married to a woman who is the ex-wife of a very close friend. And they're still friends.
So he married into the Davidson family.
She married into the Davidson.
She married. Okay.
Yeah. She dumped him. She jumped a regular Joe like us.
Smart.
And got in with the Davidson family. And
you have to.
We went and hung out in their suite. And then she gave us for a little while to go to this area right behind the basket. It's like $1,200 to go down there. It's
insane.
I kept the ticket. I never keep ticket stubs anymore, but it was like, I want a ticket stub that reads $1,200 on it. Like I spent this kind of money. Because I would never ever do
that. Do people
myself.
really pay that though? You think people actually? I mean, it seems like those kind of tickets. I mean, $1,200 is ridiculous.
Right. Like I don't know what the transaction is between the Davidson family and the Pistons at this point. That probably just comes with being them. I don't know if there's actually money being exchanged. So last night, Tuesday night, Michigan State, Oakland. And the Michigan State Oakland game is always interesting because it always feels like a bigger game than it is because it's often at Little Caesars Arena. Greg Kampe makes a big deal out of it. He's often got a team that at least he says he thinks can win the game. And, it's got an event-type feel to it, which I give them a lot of credit for. First of all, it's the biggest crowd that the arena ever sees, except for, like, Springsteen concerts at this point. And
a lot of Oakland fans there.
There were actually a decent number. But there were a couple times when Izzo picked up the technical in the second half. That place was as loud as it's probably ever been.
Don't coach my team.
It was absolutely fantastic just to hear a stadium like that. Again, I do think, though, this is a good Oakland team, and this was a good performance by Michigan State. Like Oakland has a point guard who's kind of like a Tyson Walker in that he is, and Jalen Moore, like he could be at a high major running the show and doing really well, and instead he's got to do everything. You can just see it, and they've got a guy and Jamal Cain, who came from Marquette, who's turned into just a fantastic player. They have two guys who would start just about everywhere in the Big Ten. And so he does have a decent squad. He doesn't have a lot of depth to it. But I just think that the more I watch this Michigan State team, the more I am sort of eager to see what they become. Like, we've seen already that they're not quite Baylor, right? They weren't a few weeks ago. But they keep looking better. Like, if you look at just look at Tyson Walker since December hit. I think he's got 38 assists, 9 turnovers. If you look at what Marcus Bingham is doing game after game, taking advantage of matchups, I want to see him now consistently have to face better players, but he's done it when he's had to face them already. Yeah, I just think that the construction of the roster, which last year looked so bad, mostly because of the point guard position, and they didn't have a 5, all of a sudden looks like it couldn't be any better because they have really quality point guard play right now, and they have a very good center in Bingham, and then all the other pieces just fit around it, and they've got some young players. They've got kind of new leadership and voices on the court. I think it was important to have some turnover there. There's a lot of things that all of a sudden it's come together, and they're going to be a lot of fun to watch, and they're a team that I think I'm never going to say the
don't do it.
I won't say it. I won't say they're anything proof, but they're a team that I think, like, look at the Cassius Winston team that made the Final Four when he was a junior. That team that looked like it was headed nowhere at one point in that season and then got going. Like, this team is better than that team was at this stage. This team is better than his senior year was weird because, his brother's death and he wasn't really that's a tough year to judge. I don't really want to, because they got it going late. But the junior year is more fair to do it. And so this team is already further along than that. That team I didn't think was, proof, as I say. And so this is a type of team that could absolutely get hot and make a run. They could also run into somebody that slams the door shut in the Sweet 16 or something. But I think that's what people have to be excited by, is the potential is there for this team to get somewhere this year. And the potential is also...
Graham stouted that one.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could make a run, or they could run into someone.
No, but going into this year, and even early on this year, I thought, if things go well, this is a Sweet 16 team.
Right.
And now I think, well, this is a Sweet 16 team, and if things go well, this could be a Final Four team. That's a pretty big leap. And yeah, like I've said, there are teams that, there are a lot of teams that they won't be more talented than necessarily, but the way it all, it's a really well constructed roster, and some of that's just happenstance by development, and some of it's adding the right pieces. But it works right now.
I just think because they had 10 turnovers last night, and I think if they can keep it to 9 and under, I think they can compete with anyone, especially in the Big Ten. I think they can beat anyone in the Big Ten if they keep the turnovers to 10 and under.
They basically got a 3-1. The last 5 games, the 2 point guards, Tyson Walker and AJ Hoggard, have basically a 3-1 assist to turnover ratio together. And if they do that, even if they have 14 turnovers, if they have 40 assists, if they do that all year, they're going to be fine. And so you're starting to see Walker get more and more comfortable. Every once in a while, Hoggard has that play. You could see his 1 turnover last night. You could see it on the baseline. He was going to drive into the guy. He was going to turn it over. And he's got it. You never want to be that guy that everybody in the stadium can see your turnover coming, because that's just when you turn the ball over. So he's got to get past that. But you remember both. They had 2 turnovers total, and you remember them because there just weren't that many of them. I thought Max Christie getting going was important. in his 2 best games, he's missed like 3 shots total. He still doesn't take that many shots. Either hits him or he doesn't, but he lets things come to him. I just think they have a lot of guys. Malik Hall really efficient, 6 for 7 last night. Again, they're playing against a zone where if you're patient, you're going to get open looks. But they got a lot of guys who are really efficient, who don't overshoot. You look at Malik Hall's the number of games he's had 15 or more points. In almost all of them, he goes 6 for 9. That's really his number. He shoots like 67, 70% in those games. They don't take bad shots. They're not worried about themselves. They take what's there for them, and there's just a really good chemistry there, and you can tell how much Izzo likes them. And I think that's last year was misery for them, but that's another thing. You can tell how much Izzo likes what's happened with Bingham, how much he likes Gabe Brown. And I'm doing a piece on Gabe Brown for Christmas, the day after Christmas.
Keep shooting, Gabe. One will go down eventually. 2 for 9 from 3. I love Gabe Brown.
He struggled a little yesterday, but
I love it.
But the guys who have developed within the program, you can see how much he appreciates what Tyson Walker is becoming in short order. You can just tell he likes the group of guys he has, and I think they've got a squad that can do something.
But who does Izzo trust if Bingham gets in foul trouble? Marble, Sissoko?
Marble's been in Marble's 2 best games are against Kansas and UConn, 2 really accomplished big men, especially UConn's. And so, like, when they've needed him, he's been really good. And so I think that's a perfect complement as a backup big. The thing that's going to be very interesting is this group, as we've talked about them as a 2-year group. 2 things. One, I don't believe you can ever run it back exactly the same and have things go as well, just chemistry-wise and other things like that. So something usually has to change. And the likelihood that Bingham and Gabe Brown will both return next year is probably unlikely. And that'll be that change you need. Somebody becomes more of an alpha in place of one of them. But I was talking to Izzo about this the other night, and I asked him about the opportunity for an extra year for those 2 guys. And he thinks there's a chance it could wind up being smart for both of them. And he's not thinking that way right now. Like, he wants these guys to follow their NBA dreams, and if they're on NBA draft boards, he'll encourage them to go. But if the people he talks to, or if the NBA is saying, yeah, it may make sense for each of them to come back. He always does the Morris Peterson reference with Gabe Brown, and I don't think that's entirely accurate. But
Peterson was a better shooter, right?
Certainly, but he doesn't think Morris Peterson would have gotten drafted after his 4th year. He came back and then was an All-American, and so what he's saying is there's still room potentially for Gabe Brown to take another step if the NBA isn't there, and for Marcus Bingham to take another step if he needs it with consistency for whatever his pro career is going to be. We'll see. Maybe both those guys are gone. If both those guys have good postseasons and are gone, and that's great for Michigan State in other ways. I think. All right, let's take a really quick break here. We'll bring Harry on. We'll do the games. I think there's some fun things to talk about here, and then we'll get into your Groovy Donut Twitter questions in just a minute. Couch in the Roof, presented by Skymint Premium Cannabis, Front 43 and Cask & Company, and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook.
Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen, Bar, or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with 1 awesome blended modern American-Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Firekeepers Online Casino and Sportsbook is the site to play. Get your Vegas on right now from your phone, tablet, or laptop. All the hottest slots and tables, plus sports betting featuring in-game wagering. Download the app at firekeeperscasino.com. Go with the name you know. Firekeepers. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Wherever you are on your cannabis journey, let Skymint Premium Cannabis be your guide, your friend, and your place. Whether you're curious about cannabis or a seasoned connoisseur, Skymint's knowledgeable staff will help you with a vast selection of products to choose from to fit your needs. Skymint believes access to the best cannabis helps people do good and feel good. So they grow it right here in Michigan, giving you high-quality, locally grown cannabis at highly accessible prices. Visit skymint.com for special offers and location information throughout Michigan, and use the promo code CouchAndRube20 for 20% off your first visit. Sky Mint Cannabis. You'll love this place.
Find Couch and a Rude podcasts on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and the Rube's favorite, Podcast Addict.
Jingle bells, dashing through the snow in a one-horse open.
All right, it is time to pick the games presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Download the app today. Play the games. They've got the college football semifinals. They've got the Peach Bowl. Everything you want there. They're going to have is, as we find out who's playing in all these games, they'll have player props, game props, all sorts of fun stuff. And the other thing you can do is if you ever want to just drive down to Firekeepers Casino, if you've never been, outstanding place to take in a game at Daisy Sportsbook. But download the app and play any night whenever you want. Very pleased now to have our friend Harry Gagnon on from Against All Odds. It's also with Best Bet Corner and ExtraPoints.com. Sir, how are you?
What's up, guys? What's happening? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
How was the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl?
You know what? It was a blast. Had so much fun, except for my over that took a crap in the bed. And, Jimmy actually during the game called me out and then busted my chops for giving out the over in the game.
He did, but he said Sal's friend, Harry. He didn't say my friend, Harry, and you said you've known him for 30 years. What's up with that, Jimmy?
You heard that, Jason. I took a little offense to that.
I don't blame you.
I knew Jimmy when he was I might have had more money than Jimmy is 30 years ago, which isn't saying much.
I'm glad he had fun. Thanks for taking your shirt off and whipping it around there.
Well, I had to do something productive. Kinda.
You felt like you had to do it because you had the whole suite betting the over?
It was funny. We were watching with ex-NFL player. He's part of the Extra Points Podcast Network, too. TJ Huzmanzada, who played for the Bengals and the Seahawks, and he's an Oregon State guy, played there. And he was great talking to him about football during the game and everything, but boy, he was not happy with his Beavers, and neither was I. I mean, when you guys look, we take the over. Oregon State scored 52 seconds in, 7-0. I look like walking. I know it's only 7-0, but 52 seconds in, you're feeling pretty good about the over, and they don't score another touchdown the rest of the game. Are you kidding me?
It's brutal.
It is awful. It was a good. You were on the right side of things. They just didn't.
No, he wasn't. It wasn't even close. It was like 30 points under.
I know, but it wasn't even close. I was trying to make Harry feel good.
We'll get him this week.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's some interesting stuff this week, and we're going to get into some of the specific stuff you like because you do like some stuff here. Let's go through our NFL games here first, and look, I think there's some games that are actually not bad. Like we'll start with this one.
Yep.
Colts pick 'em at Cardinals. Like obviously, I'm a little biased because I just watched the Cardinals suck ass. But they're down their top receiver. The Colts are playing really well. I get this is a road game, but the Cardinals haven't been very good at home. I don't understand this pick 'em at all. I love the Colts in this game. Jason, where are you?
Yeah, I don't understand what they're trying to do here with this spread. But if it's that obvious, the Colts seem like it's the obvious pick. You got to go with the Cardinals. What do you got here?
Yeah, back-to-back Saturday games for the Colts. They looked great. Jonathan Taylor, fantastic last week, knocking off the Pats. I like that one. I had that one last week. This week, I just don't know what's going on here with this Arizona offense in Kingsbury. Kyler Murray, 0 touchdowns the last 2 weeks passing. I don't know what to say about this team. They folded last year when they should have made the playoffs, didn't make it. I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs here, but I don't like what's going on with this Arizona team. I know that line looks a little low. I agree with you, Graham, but you know what? I can't take the bait here. I got to go with the Colts the way they're playing.
So you are taking the Colts, yeah? Okay,
yeah, the Colts.
All right, Lions plus 5.5 at the Falcons. Again, a lot of these games, I would wait to bet them for the most part. Like we're going to do our can't miss parlays in a few minutes, but like you don't know. Like we don't know if Jared Goff's going to play. Not that he's a world beater here, but and the Falcons aren't very good. It's just they don't. We've seen what happens. The Lions don't have Goff too. I don't think Goff's going to wind up playing. So give me I guess the Falcons. And The Lions though have been a lot better since the bye. They've won a couple games. They've been competitive every week. This is strictly a COVID deal, so I'm going to go Falcons. Jason, where are you?
Good Lord. I think Dan Campbell could win with us four somehow. I'm just taking the points in the Lions. I don't know if you'd bet on this game, why you would bet on this game, but what do you got here?
Yeah, exactly. And Graham, you make good points because you want to take Detroit because they still are putting forth a great effort. But still, Atlanta might be overall the better team, and the situation with Detroit makes it you want to take Atlanta. But you know what? I'm going to still go the other way. Atlanta screws me a lot. They win on the road, they lose at home, and they look good one week and they look terrible next. I'm going to take the Lions. Let's finish up good with the Lions. They've been playing their hearts out.
All right, Rams -3 at the Vikings. I'm all over the Rams here, and look, I get that the Vikings have had some decent games. I just haven't seen any of them. Every time I turn the Vikings on, they're not very good. They can't. The passing attack's awful. It was embarrassing against the Bears. I think the Rams have turned a corner. The 3 points is strictly because they're on the road here. I think they're significantly better than the Vikings at this point. Give me the Rams. Jason, where are you?
I absolutely despise the Vikings, so give me the Rams -3. What do you got here?
You know what, guys? I mean, look, and we all know Cousins no good in prime time. It can't get it done. Not good as a favorite. So this is an early game on Sunday. Vikings are getting points at home. Thielen should be back. And the Rams have got it done on Tuesday night. But in this spot, this is a spot where Cousins might shine here. I know he wasn't good, and it was an awful game against the Bears. They got the win. They're right there in that playoff hunt. I'll take the 3 at home with the Vikings.
Oh,
good luck.
Yeah. Oof.
Too easy. Looks too easy to take the Rams.
Yeah. Okay, Bills +2.5 at the Patriots. Patriots coming off a loss at home. I don't think anything's really wrong with them. I'm going Pats. Jason?
Can you really look at past games and take anything into account for this week's games?
No.
Give me Billy B at home. Give it the 2.5. I like it. What do you got here?
Well, I'm taking the Bills here, too. I'm taking the Bills just because, look, they get this. I know they lost the first game, and Jones only had to attempt 3 passes. And by the way, Graham, nice job on your Jones for Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's a lock. I think he's like a -800 right now, so that's a winner for you. But I'm going to take the Bills here. Listen, if they win this game, the division should be theirs. They have Carolina and the Jets in the last 2 games. I'm going to take the Bills to step up here. A couple weeks ago they should have beat Tampa. They didn't get that pass interference call, which was ridiculous. Should have won that game. I think they beat the Pats and they go on to win the East.
All right, that's so Harry's against us half the time here. That's not great. All right, last game here of the NFL, Bears +6.5.
Why?
At the Seahawks because I like
this game. Why is this game in here? Why?
I like this game.
Ugh.
I think the Seahawks suck. I think the Seahawks sucks, and I think the Bears they've got a quarterback that's still trying to figure it out and is fun to watch. Is not quit. They've got a coach is about to be fired, but is still coaching for his life because he doesn't know he's fired. And so I like the Bears here. I like the Bears as a money line sprinkle here. Jason, where are you?
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
Matt Nagy, dead man walking. Give me the Seahawks in Seattle. Give me the 6.5. What do you got here?
You know what, guys? Graham, I'm with you here. I like the Bears with the points here. They're playing tough, stupid penalties against Minnesota, 5 personal foul penalties. But more than anything here, I think Seattle's dead. I think Carroll's gone. I think Wilson's gone. They gave what they had for basically for a half a game against the Rams, and then lost in the fourth quarter. Plus, what I really like in this game, guys, I'm going to take the Bears with the 6.5. But I gave out the Bears and Minnesota under. I love this game under, too. Seattle's defense, actually, second half of the season, giving up third least points in the league in the second half of the season. And the Bears' defense, 8th against the pass, which, Wilson couldn't pass yesterday. And also, they can't run the ball either, Seattle. So give me the under 43.5 in this game. So with that said, I'm going to take the Bears with the points as well.
All right. So the 2 college games I want to look at a little bit is just the Pitt MSU game and the Georgia-Michigan game. We went over our bowl games last week. But, obviously there's no Kenneth Walker. There's no Kenny Pickett. The Pittsburgh's playing a quarterback who's thrown 14 passes all year. And, I just think, here's why I love MSU on this line. As big an impact as Kenneth Walker. If I were to ask you guys this question, Would you rather have, if you're MSU, you have to have a choice in this game. You can either have Kenneth Walker or Peyton Thorne. Who would you have?
Peyton Thorne.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is it's not that Peyton Thorne's a better player than Kenneth Walker. It's that position is so connected to everything, right? And so I just think that you'd much rather lose a running back, no matter how great, than a quarterback, especially one that's setting records and was everything for you. I love this MSU line the more I look at it. And obviously we've seen, things go wrong, but they're going to get Jalen Naylor back. They've had time to try and fix some things defensively. I think this is a real cathartic opportunity for their defense. The more this goes, the MSU line I've seen some places now -2.5. Still love it. Anything under 3 for sure. Love it. Jump on MSU. That's my advice on this game. Do you guys agree with me?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to take MSU just because I think, like you said, the defense with a backup quarterback, no offensive coordinator for Pitt. MSU's offense is still there, so give me MSU. What do you got here?
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you guys, too. It would have been nice to see both Kennys play in this game. When they came out, I was hoping both kind of would, because I'd love to see the offenses go at it with the best players here. Unfortunately, that's not the case in this game. But I'm going to ride with you guys here. I mean, I think Pittsburgh's in a tough spot here right now. Michigan State still has very good offense. I'm going to take I'll take the Spartans with you guys.
Yeah, and the thing that Pitt does best defensively is stop the run, I think MSU is going to be okay passing the ball. You just download the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. That game is there, and that line is moved between, it's kind of toggled between 1.5, 2.5, and place your bet. Georgia -7.5 versus Michigan. Tell me if you're wrong, guys, but I think there's some money line value on Michigan here. You guys agree?
I'm all over it. I love it. You guys know I have that 80-1 ticket. I love it. I think, and we discussed this before, I think Michigan is pissed. I think they thought they deserved the number 1 seed. Jay, you made a good point last time saying, well, they didn't want Alabama playing Georgia, and I get it, and you're absolutely right, but I think it's bull, and I think Michigan did everything they needed to do to be the number 1 seed. They're not there. I think they're pissed, and I think they do what they've been doing all year, because we saw some exposure in that Georgia-Alabama game where Alabama did whatever they wanted against them on offense, which was totally surprising, but now we've seen it, so it gives Michigan more hope, more faith, and with that running game, I think they can do it, and I'm taking Michigan, and I agree with you. More than take the points, but more than a sprinkle on the money line with the Wolverines.
Wow.
Sounds like a guy that's holding onto an 80-1 ticket.
Yeah, but
he's and then is Harbaugh this might be Harbaugh's only ever shot.
Right.
Yeah, it could be, he's not hedging, So.
Right. I'm not heavy on the money line, but I'm definitely the 7 in the hook. Give me Michigan with that.
Yeah, I think that's where it is. All right.
Guys, can we hum the Michigan fight song a little bit?
It's a great fight song.
No, it is a great fight song.
It's a great fight song.
It is.
All right,
we just lost half our audience.
Sorry, I
forgot what we were doing here.
Just people.
Sorry, guys.
People.
That is a great fight song.
People vomiting in their cars right now. A couple games you like, you want to give out to our listeners here. You like Central Florida, and this is a Thursday night game against Florida in the Gasparilla Bowl, right?
I do.
+7.
+7. I mean, look, Florida down the stretch, changing a lot of coaching situations, the assistants being let go as well. You have 52 points, not to Stanford, but to Samford. You have 52 points at Stanford. I just don't think Florida's heads are in this game. I don't think the players are going to care. Central in-state rivalry here, Central Florida getting the 7 here, I think, is the play. And how many times can we say that Central Florida, they put up big numbers offensively, they're doing it for years. But this is the first time you can probably say that they're doing it with their defense. In the last 7 wins, they got 7 wins this year. All 7 wins. The last 7 wins, I'm sorry, guys. Last 7 wins, they've held their opponents to 17 points or less. I just don't think the Gators' heads are going to be in it. I like Central Florida here.
You also love a teaser with the 49ers and Packers. And what I love about the Packers is I love their 2 NFL games on Christmas Day. Just about the time you're like sort of getting tired of your family and you're wondering what to do. And, right now going to a movie theater may or may not be the greatest idea in the world.
Yeah.
There's 2 NFL games. That's ideal. But the first one's Thursday night. San Francisco -3 at Tennessee. You like them with a 7-point teaser, and Packers on the other end of that with it -7.5, which takes it down to basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, I wonder what you guys think. It's Graham, especially. I know you like teasers a little bit more than Jason does. I mean, San Fran's won 5 of 6. 6 of their 8 wins, they scored 30 points or more. They're rolling right now. They've been fantastic. I know they got tripped up against Seattle a couple weeks ago, but they've been just rolling. I like them in a teaser, taking them to either +4 or +3.5, depending on what line you get. So even if Tennessee were to maybe manage to pull this game out, who are not playing well at all, they were awful in the second half against the Steelers, I'd like to still get the 3.5 or 4. So even if you lose by a field goal, you win. And again, listen, we've said it a million times. Green Bay, just no matter what happened to this team, whether Rodgers' toe is hurting or they get COVID or what, it doesn't matter. They win these games. Cleveland's had the chance to be the leader in the North. They couldn't close it out against the Raiders. Their season might be over. In Green Bay, you take that down from 7.5 down to -0.5. They're not losing this game at home on Christmas.
I love teasers when they basically take when they make it a money line, or when they take it down. That's when I really love it, because I always think your best bets are when you're playing for the same thing as the team is, right? Because their goal is to win the game, and so if you can take somebody to being an underdog, or take somebody like you can with San Francisco here, or take them down to the money line, you have the same goal as the team, which is always helpful. There's nothing worse than a team taking a knee when all you need is like, no, just run it in here.
That's it.
That's
win the game, Green Bay at home. That's it. And San Fran, Garoppolo, been pretty damn good lately. And Deebo Samuel and Kittle are on point. And just Tennessee is really fading. Thank God they beat. They were able to beat the Colts both times this year. They'd be really sweating out the South.
You also like the NFL MVP race.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Like, you look at the MVP race, but there's also an award for Offensive Player of the Year. But,
okay.
I mean, where's the difference in this, guys? I mean, in terms of, you're not really depending on Carson Wentz a ton. What you're really hoping for out of Carson Wentz in Indianapolis is not to screw you in games and cost you games like he did in that game at home against Tennessee when they're up 14-0. Jonathan Taylor has been unbelievable. He's in plus 950 on FanDuel to be the MVP. I think that's fair, and I think this is a bias award towards quarterbacks, which is kind of unfair because Brady, Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers has been fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but whatever he did in midseason, it was a kind of a turnoff situation. And Brady wasn't good. He hasn't been good for a couple of games. And I think Taylor plus 950 deserves it. He's got 1,500 yards, 19 total touchdowns. But him and Cooper Kupp, they're both minus 105 to be Offensive Player of the Year, but not MVP. I mean, I think Cooper Kupp, he's 50 to 1 to be MVP in FanDuel, guys. This guy has a chance, Cooper Kupp, to win the Grand Slam, to win the Grand Slam, Triple Crown of NFL receptions, yards, and touchdowns. He was tremendous last night in prime time. I mean, they're both minus 105 to be Offensive Player of the Year, but Wade not getting the credit for MVP one. I think Cooper Kupp deserves it just like as Jonathan Taylor does.
And like the Heisman this year, there isn't an obvious guy. Some years it's like Mahomes is just having a year, there isn't that guy. So it's not a bad year.
Quarterback going, you're right. There's not that quarterback going for 5,000 yards. There's not that quarterback going for 55 touchdowns. So why not somebody else? Why not?
All right. Are you ready, Harry, to judge our can't-miss parlays?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
All right, let's get into these.
Jonathan Taylor, great value, by the way. All right, Harry, here we go. Arizona State versus Wisconsin in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Ooh.
Arizona State doesn't have any running backs, and Wisconsin has Graham, don't call me Graham Couch Mertz. Oh, yeah, and Paul Christ. Over-under is 42 and a hook. Give me the under. 52 degrees and a small chance of rain. Weather brought to you by no one because there's too many live reads already in this shit. Second game. Central Michigan versus Boise State in the Arizona Bowl, Harry. Boise State minus 8.5 in this game. New Year's Eve in Tucson, Arizona. Bachmeier for Boise State. Been beaten up all year. More hits than anyone in the nation this year. The backup quarterback transferred in the portal. So if he gets hurt, if the Chippewas get to him, I don't see how they can beat the Chippewas. Give me the Chips, underdogs, by 8 or more 3 times in the season. They've covered that spread twice.
Give me the Chips plus 8 and a hook, 64 degrees and partly cloudy. Utah versus Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. I don't know which Ohio State guys are not going to play, but I know for sure Garrett Wilson and Olave are not going to play, right? I mean, we're pretty much sure on that. Utah has been terrible against the spread this year. But, hey, we all have New Year's resolutions, Graham. Give me Utah in the 6 and a hook, 59 and cloudy in Pasadena.
Interesting.
These are good.
Yeah. I'm thinking. What do you got, Graham?
All right, what I got here, I'm going to give you 2 can't-miss parlays because one's a Premier League can't-miss parlay. I love the Premier League, which is back. I hated last week when it was all off. Last week was going to be such a moneymaker, and COVID ruined it. I mean, freaking A, it ruined it. I love the Rams -3 at the Vikings. Just love it, and love it too much, and that scares me. I love the Colts at the Cardinals. Love it too much, and that scared me. That's a pick 'em. And then I'm telling you, I really like Michigan State up to -3. It's like -2.5, -2 a lot of places. Michigan State, to me, in the Peach Bowl is a great play. Just people are equating the 2 stars sitting out way too equally, and it's not an equal thing because one's the quarterback, one's a record-setting quarterback. Give me Michigan State, give me the Colts, and give me the Rams, and that is my football can't-miss parlay. However, there is more money to be won on soccer. And by the way, some of these midweek cup games are phenomenal. Been making money on those, but they're just too often, too frequent. I discovered them way too late in the game. Wolverhampton, -0.5 or on the money line, -123 at home against Watford. I like this Wolverhampton team. Again, you got to be a little careful about who's available because they've had a lot of COVID out things. So wait until you get closer to the game. That's on Sunday. I also like West Ham United, -118 on the money line at home against Southampton. I hate Southampton's not that good. I think that's great. And then on the money line on the road, the same day at 12:30, Chelsea -149 at Aston Villa. Again, these are teams you want to be careful of how many guys are missing. But I like Chelsea. These are all money line plays that aren't like huge favorite things, but the better team is only barely favored. Give me that all the way. I sort of like Liverpool -2.5 against Leeds, but that's a big number. So I'm gonna stick with the ones I have.
Well, Graham, those just checking those 3 soccer. They're all Saturday or Sunday.
Sunday.
They're all
Sunday is
Sunday.
the 26th, right? Yeah.
Sunday's the 26th.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. And guess what? Since it's a holiday weekend and everything like that, I'm just gonna play it. I'm gonna have faith in you there. I'm gonna play that 3-team parlay. Now,
Excellent.
As far as it goes for you versus Jason here, look, I just think this. Look, I like the Colts too, especially the way the Cards have been playing, tanking down the stretch. It's a pick back to back. And listen, I even gave out the Colts here. I like them more on a teaser than just obviously if you can get them at +7.5 or 8, that's one thing. But I'm riding with you guys on Michigan State. I don't have really a feel on that situation right now, but I'm rolling with you guys on Michigan State. But I just don't know. Something about the Rams turns me off. Jay's parlay. Utah plus the 6.5. They beat Oregon twice. It surprised me the second time. You guys know I loved them the first time. The second time I didn't think it was going to happen. They did it. I don't know how Ohio State's heads are going to be in this game, caring about so much about the Rose Bowl playing Utah. I'm rolling with you guys. Let's do a little MAC action with Central Miss J. And the under 42.5. Wisconsin travels well. They'll have people there. But Mertz is Mertz, right? And Arizona State. I mean, honestly, you don't know. You're probably going to get 150 yards out of the guy, maybe 1 touchdown if you're lucky. And Arizona State, not so sure what their heads are at either. Don't know if their coaching staff is going to be back next year. But they did play defense pretty good down the stretch. Not a lot of offense out of the Arizona State Sun Devils either. Let's go with Jay. Here.
He got it!
Harry, you're a beautiful man. I hope you have a marvelous Christmas and you do nothing but win bets. And we look forward to having you back in 2022, which is going to be an awesome year. We're going to get rid of all this COVID shit, and it's going to be all about sports betting and fun and back to
Absolutely.
back to greatness.
Absolutely. Thanks
Harry.
guys. And, hey, guys, have a Merry Christmas. Have a great time, and let's have some winners this weekend. Thanks for everything, guys.
You too, buddy.
Talk to you soon. That's the great Harry Gagnon. And that's us picking our bets, presented by Firekeeper's iCasino and Sportsbook app. Download it today, and you can play our can't-miss parlays, which, of course, never miss, in all the games we pick or the games you like. Like as we're doing this right now, I just live bet on the Firekeeper's iCasino and Sportsbook app, Missouri over Army. And since I did that, Army scored. So what the hell do I know? But it was fun. It was fun to do. All right, we are going to take a really quick break here. We'll come back. We'll dig into your Groovy Donut Twitter questions. Couch in the Rube, presented by our friends at Skymint Premium Cannabis, Front 43 and Cask & Company, and Firekeeper's iCasino and Sportsbook.
Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen, Bar, or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with one awesome blended modern American-Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Wherever you are on your cannabis journey, let Skymint Premium Cannabis be your guide, your friend, and your place. Whether you're curious about cannabis or a seasoned connoisseur, Skymint's knowledgeable staff will help you with a vast selection of products to choose from to fit your needs. Skymint believes access to the best cannabis helps people do good and feel good, so they grow it right here in Michigan, giving you high-quality, locally grown cannabis at highly accessible prices. Visit skymint.com for special offers and location information throughout Michigan, and use the promo code CouchAndRube20 for 20% off your first visit. Skymint Cannabis, you'll love this place. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com. If you're looking for a relaxed vibe, great food, and an outstanding beer selection, Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing is your place. Enjoy their famed chicken and waffle fries, fish and chips, or any of their delicious burgers or salads. Midtown Brewing Company also offers 40-plus beers on tap, including ciders and seasonal offerings and daily happy hour specials. The spacious and cozy vibe makes Midtown Brewing Company a perfect place for a beer with a friend, a work lunch, or to watch the games on its big screen TVs. If you'd rather eat at home, Midtown Brewing Company offers a terrific carryout menu and free delivery on orders of $20 or more. Visit MidtownBrewingCompany.net or stop by 402 South Washington in downtown Lansing for the Midtown Brewing Company experience.
You're listening to Couch in the Rube.
What are you on, a radio or the TV?
SpotlightRadioNetwork.com.
Couch in the Rube, presented by Skymint Premium Cannabis. And our midweek show brought to you by Front 43 and Cask & Company and Firekeeper's iCasino and Sportsbook. Right now, at Skymint, they have their 12 days of holidays wrapping up. And so on the 23rd and on Christmas Eve, still 30% off all Skymint house brands of THC. You can always go and use the Couch in the Rube promo code CouchAndRube20 for 20% off. And it's a great gift. I'm telling you right now, it's been a gift I've given to people. It's a great, inexpensive secret Santa. Nothing better, and frankly for yourself, too. If you've got a lot of family and you got stressful holidays, Skymint can help you get through the holidays. Go to skymint.com for location information and specials. You can have them emailed right to your box. Jason, you ready to dig into these Groovy Donut Twitter questions?
You know it. Eric Schultz up first. What bowl result would be more promising for next season? Trey Mosley, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Peyton Thorne, 350 yards and 4 TDs. Or Jordan Simmons, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. All of them.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, Trey Mosley, if you have a guy who looks like, okay, that's the next go-to receiver, but yeah, I think Jordan Simmons, I think running back the least so. Although if any running back really stands out, just because they have another guy coming in, running back I think will be a sort of a jumbled position in the offseason with a lot to prove. I think the quarterback and receiver deal would be the most promising, and probably Trey Mosley, because if Trey Mosley has 130 yards and 2 TDs, guess what? Peyton Thorne threw those 2 TDs and probably had a good game too.
Dominic, New Year's Graham-olutions. Number 1, make Bally Sports replace Matt Shepard. He's a nice guy. 2, force John O'Neill into retirement. 3, change the targeting rule. 4, make Big Noon stop being a thing. 5, eliminate the commercial after touchdown, return just for kickoff, go back to commercial, which is the worst. 6, never, ever, ever make another suggestion that even casually alludes to MSU needing to root for Michigan. 7, expose Gary Barta for being the C word that he is. What's a C word?
Coward.
Oh. 8, confess to using all of the gift cards to Cask and Company on yourself and host a dinner for all of us at your house. 9, do a column on Mel Tucker's dogs. Going the pet route is the best way to establish a good rapport. 10, become a beat writer again for a week around this next signing day, then write a column about it. 11, make caramel apple cider donuts a year-round donut at Groovy Donuts. 12, that's it. Merry Christmas and Happy Kwanzaa to Jason.
Appreciate you, Dominic. So these are all really good. And the Mel Tucker's dogs thing, Nate Atkins actually did a piece on Mel Tucker's dogs. So that's been done.
How was it?
It was good. It was, it was during the middle of the pandemic, and it was when there wasn't a lot of access to them.
Did Nate do something wrong? I mean, why he had to cover dogs?
No. Although you can do, I think my dad used to do a column when he was a newspaper man in his 20s, where I can't even remember if he played the part of a dog in the column. Like, he created this column as a dog and basically what he thought about city officials. I'm fucking this up. This isn't right. I need to get this right. No.
You mean he wrote a column as a dog?
Fix it in post, because it worked. It was funny. My dad had great humor. I screwed that up.
I'm not saying he doesn't, but the way you're describing, I'm transfixed now.
I don't know why I began that story. We'll fix it in post. You won't even hear that if you're listening to the show.
Will you write a column as a dog?
I would. Yeah, I would. If I had that sort of wit, I would do it. Jesus, I apologize for that. It was awful.
Maybe. What's the next step for the basketball team, or what's currently holding them back from a Final Four?
Yeah, what I think it is it's playing a really good team, and then there could be a few in the Big Ten, right? Purdue, obviously, Illinois, even Michigan on the road. As much as Michigan struggled, I think Michigan on the road in early January, and just looking like the better team, and looking like a team that really has it together, and everything, going in this, and they don't go into Purdue's place, but beating Purdue or winning at Illinois, those sort of things, like seeing them, because what I think is very clear is they're not a team that plays down to their competition, which is a good sign. They've handled their business. And so I think that's really kind of the next step for them. And there's, it's getting Max Christie going, because if that were to happen with everything else that's happening, it'd be interesting to see what their ceiling was.
Maybe. Graham, which hotel credit card do you recommend?
Got to go with the Marriott Bonvoy Premier Visa. Is
this a DM or is this an actual question?
This is a question.
Oh, okay.
Telling you, it comes with a pretty good initial set of points to Marriott, and then every time you use it at a Marriott, it's 5 times the points. I think it's fantastic.
Eric Ziegler, can this MSU basketball team win the Big Ten at plus 700 on DraftKings? Is it worth a sprinkle just in case they do?
Yes, because I'll tell you for 2 reasons, Eric. This is why you want to take MSU at plus 700. One, they're good enough. They're rarely do Tom Izzo teams undervalued. This one is undervalued because they're still, the people that see them play saw that Kansas game. And in college basketball, even more so than college football, there aren't a lot of moments till later that a lot of the, people have really seen. And so you're still getting good value on Michigan State. And then the other reason to do it is, at this point, because the good value is out there and you don't do it, you'll regret it if they win it and you don't also win money. So do it for your own peace of mind. You'll be happy to lose the money. You won't be happy to lose the money, but you'd rather lose the money than have the regret of not winning the money when you should have won it.
Plus 700, that's good value.
It's great value for this Michigan State team. Totally.
Jimmy, Malik Hall is averaging 10 points, 5 boards, and 1 assist in 22 minutes this season. If he averaged 30 minutes, does that scale go up, or are they appropriately playing the minutes he can handle? Same question for Hauser with 6, 6, and 2 in 21 minutes.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Hall go closer to 24, 25. It's a really good question, because he's had what I want to see from Hall, and the reason I can't answer that yet is because when he's had tough matchups, he's kind of disappeared. So all of his best games are almost entirely against favorable matchups, which is natural. Obviously you're better when you're playing against lesser competition or somebody that works for you. But if he starts having games against long athletic fours and guys who are difficult matchups where he's having those 15-point games and he's being efficient and all those things, then I think his minutes have to go up. Right now it's an average and it's sort of dependent. Like he only played 17 because he got hit in the head the other day. But it's somewhat dependent on Hauser too. And Hauser's been awful, and we've seen those games right out of him. Hall should be playing more. But I don't know that it's a direct correlation to if he plays 30 minutes more. I think so much of what he's done to this point has still been a little matchup dependent.
Ken Chu, why the fuck were the number 9, 10, and 11 ranked basketball teams all on ESPN Plus last night? Merry Christmas. Appreciate you.
Merry Christmas to you, Ken. Appreciate you. So there were a couple games canceled at least. This does seem like bad planning. But they had decent games, and there were at least 2 games canceled.
Had to listen to the Oakland announcers last night.
Yeah, it did seem like there was an inability to move some things around. And I'm not sure if they just don't want to put the because these are guys making almost nothing or $100 a game doing the ESPN Plus things. I'm not sure if they don't want to put them on network TV or what the deal is. It was not the guys
ideal.
On
ESPN Plus are making $100 a game, you think?
They're making almost nothing. Some they don't make it any at all. Bowling Green doesn't pay. Really? Yep.
And they're on ESPN.
ESPN Plus on the stream, yeah. So for some it's just experience. For some it's $150 a game, something like that. That's crazy. It's not a lot of money. And yes, that makes you think of it a little differently. The thing that's weird about ESPN Plus, and I think it's not bad for the price, but it's like you do see that with Peacock, like with the NBC, right? They'll put certain things there because they're trying to get you to subscribe. But I think ESPN Plus is ESPN past that. This was just kind of a weird night.
ESPN Plus isn't that bad, in my opinion.
No, I don't. I watched a ton of soccer in the background today, like the English Cup, the midweek. What's it called, the Carabas Cup or whatever, on ESPN Plus. I love there are a million games. You want to gamble soccer in the middle of the afternoon? Tomorrow there's games in the Netherlands on. There's all sorts of stuff. You just look up the predictions. You kind of read about both teams. Boom, all of a sudden you're into a soccer game at 3 p.m. I'm telling you, it's outstanding.
1-800-GAMBLER. Ron, excuse me, Quixote, overseas visiting family, and I couldn't get the Oakland game online. Please sum it up in 3 words.
Bingham, alley-oop. With that, how you do it? Yeah.
Michigan State won.
3 words is tough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, 3 words is really tough.
Greg Campy, Tom Izzo, technicals.
There you go. There's a few. Yeah, you could do it in several different. Yeah.
Next one from Ron. When you're old and gray or older and grayer, what 2021 MSU moment will you remember best?
Ooh. Okay. Before we jump into this, reminder: Groovy Donuts is open on Thursday, December 23rd, and Friday, December 24th, from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you can get your Groovy Donuts for Christmas or get your fix in before the holidays. Place your orders online at groovydonuts.com. They've got still great holiday donuts in their usual selection of great donuts. They'll be back open on Thursday, December 30th, and Friday, December 31st, from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. as well. Go to either location. That's in Williamston and also in East Lansing on Lake Lansing Road. Okay, to the question, the 2021 MSU moment I'll remember most, it's got to be, well, as much as I want to say Kenneth Walker in Michigan, I think it's Kenneth Walker Northwestern. Because it was so out of the blue. The 75-yard run, the 264, we had no idea that was coming from him or who he was going to be as a player, right? That to me jumped out, even though the Michigan game is obvious. I don't know. What to you would be it?
Even though we thought Northwestern's D was ass, but I mean, it was shocking to see a guy running that far for a touchdown on Michigan State. It's definitely the MSU football team, right? When we talked about preseason and 4.5 wins, which we both thought they could get to, but we didn't know that they would flip college football on their heads. And I'll just take, the show we did out at Sky Mint, I'll take that into account too. The whole football scene was really cool to be a part of doing a show like this.
Yeah, it made the fall for us,
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, no, because seriously, we've done some falls here where it's like, especially when we were doing 5 shows a week, and MSU football is like 7-5, 6-6. Those are long weeks, man.
Can someone go back and listen to when we were doing 5 days a week so I can get some notes?
My favorite parts were like, it'd be Tuesday, and you'd be like, oh, fuck, it's only Tuesday.
We got to talk about this game all week.
Next one from Ron. What age did you learn that Santa wasn't real? Sorry, Gavin Haas, if you didn't know yet.
7 or 8. I don't know. Where were you? How old were you?
It was around there because I had a skateboard that I bought with my own money, and my dad came in and grabbed the skateboard, and there was wheels on it the next day. So I was like, I put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, oh, I moved on.
So yeah, for when you're the oldest kid, I feel like sometimes you hang out a little longer because, like for me, I remember my mom bought another year or 2 out of it with a pretty good, not a full out lie, but I started asking questions, and she said, well, when I was a little kid, I remember hearing Santa's sleigh on the roof and reindeer on the roof at my house. And why would your mother lie to you when you're like 6 or 7, right? You're kind of trusting. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Shit, that must be real. And then, because I remember being like 7 in the lunch line at Verlinden Elementary on Lansing's West Side, like staunchly defending Santa's honor against some kids who were non-believers. And I wasn't going to believe these kids are 7. What the fuck do they know? You know, I mean,
they don't have phones yet.
They don't know shit.
Yeah.
So, and then when I finally started asking questions, and my parents told me they were really worried about my little sisters, like 3.5 years younger. And they just basically that was their concern at that point. It was like,
would it ruin a kid's life though if they found out at 5 years old or 7? I don't remember it being that devastating. I was just like, oh, cool. Now I get to.
It's a fun extra thing.
Write a letter to a fat man anymore. I can just talk to my dad.
If you can get to 6, you know, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, all right.
You know, so like my sister was like, what, 4.5 or something? They're like, we'd like to get a couple more years out of this with her. You know, I mean, I don't know. I could see why they tried to keep it going as long as they could with me.
Next from Gavin. Final Peach Bowl prediction from the both of you.
What are you going with?
31-27.
Oh, close game. Okay. Yeah, I think Michigan State gets into the 30s. I'll say 34. I'll say something like 34-26, something like that.
Next one from Gavin. Can this MSU basketball team win the Natty?
I mean, yes, because I do think they're good enough in all the right circumstances. Like we thought the team that lost in the Final Four to Texas Tech had a chance, right? It wasn't the strongest Final Four. I think this will probably be a stronger Final Four. And Michigan State looked like it might be a favorite. And I think this team is better than that team was at this stage. So things could come together, and yes, it could happen. But I wouldn't consider it yet, even though they're playing well and there's some real promising things. I wouldn't yet consider it like one of those teams where we've looked at it early in the year and said this should be among the contenders. What's made them so – I mean, they're fun to watch. I think it's a team Izzo likes coaching. They've got a lot of cool parts. But I think we still need to see a game, and it's going to happen on the road in the Big Ten or against Purdue. They only play them at home. Or it's going to happen at some point if it's going to be there where it's not like they got to win every road game, but there's going to be a game where you go, wow, that was a really good performance against a good team. Maybe, you know, and we've seen a little of that, but we still need to see it against better competition, I think.
Next from Gavin, greatest Christmas story from the both of you.
What's your best Christmas story?
I've told it.
The Rube?
Santa Rube story.
Rube,
I can't beat that.
No. Don't do that, Gavin, by the way. Don't follow in the Rube's footsteps if you can avoid.
Why? Because I saved a young girl from a stripper pole when she turned 18.
Yeah.
Saved that kid's life.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have a great. I mean, I don't.
I still want to know this column that your dad wrote when he.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was a column. I think it was a. Now I'm not getting. I'll have to ask my mom. We'll get this back for the new year. It was what he had a regular column where he wrote it from the perspective of
a dog.
Well, he wrote it as the dog was a character. That's a great. It's a great question. He was.
Now there's a tease to come back after the new year
yes,
and listen to the first show because I swear to God. I'm going to hold off because I want to know when we get back.
2022 is going to be awesome, guys. I'm telling you. I'm trying
a random story.
A great Christmas story. I don't know if I have.
Yeah, what did you get when you were young that like you have to remember? Like I got a Diamondback, like a green Diamondback with white tires. It was the greatest day of my life.
Well, I remember gift-wise, I got I got this Dunkit, like this plastic Dunkit. The hoop was adjustable in the living room when I was young, and I played all these games with friends, but also in my own head. I had all leagues in the living room and all this stuff, and that was breakaway rim and all that stuff. That was just incredible. I mean, that thing lasted for years. We had it in a suitcase when I was almost too old to be doing that stuff.
You were 17.
Close.
Andrew Monticello, what's Graham's favorite word and why is it crescendo?
I do use it a lot.
Do you really?
Yeah, in writing. Because thanks for reading.
I read the 3 quick takes.
No, just kidding.
I read a lot of stuff.
No, I was a choir boy growing up, and I was a music guy. So crescendo, is a musical term, and so that's where it came from. And I think it's an effective word.
Are you satisfied with that answer, sir? Cinemod, will Oakland be considered a quad 1 win at the end of the season?
I don't think so, because I think that's a neutral site game. The one disadvantage for not playing that like on Oakland's home court, number one, their strength of schedule is going to kill them in the Horizon League. And then it's a neutral game. So if Oakland's really good, it winds up as a quad 2 game maybe. But the hard thing is you're not going to get that as a quad 1. It won't be. I think Oakland's going to be good though in the Horizon League if they stay healthy. So it's not going to be, it's not some game that just doesn't give you anything.
Next from Cinemod, did Izzo see Greg Campy's tech and then think, hey, I need one of those too?
Don't coach my team.
I think Izzo's was a little more deserved. And the ref that gave it to him was kind of a twerp. But Campy,
he didn't deserve a tech. That was goaltending.
Well, not only that,
time.
he didn't even say anything that was that awful either. Like that was a huge swing in that game too. That was
he's the best.
Campy's incredible. You have to like the column I wrote today that went up at like noon. When Campy plays MSU, you have to go cover that because he's so good at analysis of MSU, and he's seen MSU play every year for a decade, so he's good at and it's just he's blunt too.
Next one from Cinemod. Why can't we drink at the Breslin Center yet?
I think you'll be able to drink at Spartan Stadium before you can at Breslin. I don't know that because the other thing is Breslin sells out easier. They don't need alcohol at Breslin. Now there might be more money to be made in sales. But I think an enticement for people to come in the stadium in football. Well, although some families will find it as a turnoff a little bit because there are people who don't go to NFL games because of the booze. So I don't know. It's a good question.
Jay Riemenschneider, Moving Screen Podcast, in so many words, said Painter was the best coach in the Big Ten. Do you agree, especially given his lack of deep turning runs?
I mean, I really like him as a coach, and I like him as a media person because he explains things well. But yeah, no, I do think he's a very good coach. This is a big year though, because he's got the best team in the Big Ten talent-wise, pound for pound, so to speak. He's got the team that ought to be matchup proof, and everybody's kind of chasing them. And if they don't get it done this year, I'm not saying that you can have an injury and something goes wrong, but this is one of those years where he's actually got the goods, and it's not a coaching job. I don't know if he's Izzo's pretty good. He's in the Hall of Fame. And his gap help defense has gotten him a lot and done a lot over a lot of years. Juwan Howard, I think, is a very good coach. Now, this is a test of Howard, right? Because they don't have the best situation at the point guard position. And I like Holtman a lot at Ohio State. I think he's a really good coach. But Painter's up there. I don't know if he's the best, but he's certainly in the conversation.
Next one from Jay. I'm a Michigan fan, but also a pragmatist. So how in the hell is Michigan basketball ranked higher than MSU on KenPom?
There's some weird stuff on KenPom right now. Maybe it's because it's early. I don't know. Maybe it's because there are some things just on that don't make a lot of sense. Like MSU, I think should be higher on KenPom, and isn't. I think they're better than where they're ranked. And look, analytics don't always. It takes a while for that stuff to. Even the predictive stuff
what analytics though has Michigan ahead of Michigan State basketball?
Yeah, I'd have to look at it all specifically, but yeah, no,
you have Ken's number. Let's call him right now.
Yeah, no, he's been doing it a while, and he's got me every year too because my subscription comes up on like March 1st. It's like, God dang it! And I'm definitely going to need it in March, so he's got me 100%.
Next one from Jay. What celebrity, actor, athlete, singer, whatever would your significant other leave your ass for if he wooed her? Don't lie. I know it's got to be someone.
I asked my wife this today, not in so many words, but I just kind of was trying to get a sense of who it might be. And I think Paul Rudd she would leave me for.
Huh.
Which is interesting. I didn't even know that about her, which we don't really know each other that well. So
who, Paul Rudd?
No, my wife and I.
What do you mean you don't know each other that well?
Well, I didn't know Paul Rudd was even somebody she liked at all. And
you guys don't talk about that?
Her favorite actor.
Who's
apparently.
your pass.
Well, I mean, I'd probably, I'd fuck Hugh Grant.
Jesus,
a lot of these
why do you
people.
have to use the
sorry,
F word?
Sorry. No.
It's fucking weird, dude.
No, sorry.
We're dropping MFers now?
Wait,
no,
so you're going to have sex with Hugh Grant?
No, I'm kidding. I'm a Hugh Grant fan, but Rachel McAdams, Reese Witherspoon, these are my people. Those are my. I don't know who's yours. Who's yours, and who would Therese?
Mine's Carmen Electra. I forget who Teresa's is though.
Okay,
Jason Momoa. It's someone that I definitely go. Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can see with a lot of guys.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she could probably throw a rock in downtown Lansing and find someone.
Like my wife walks in the room today. I'm in the office and I was doing a radio interview thing, and she thought I had my hand down my pants, but I actually just had my hand like up my shirt. But still, it was like I had my legs crossed and like my belly out sideways and my hand on my shirt. It was just I thought she left, and I thought she's gonna leave like right now. She's gonna get in the car and just think, what did I do? Why did I marry this?
Just looking at wedding photos,
beached whale,
crying.
Yeah,
good
awful.
Lord.
Yeah.
Molon Lobby Spartan. Family Stone is greater than Love Actually.
So
what's Family Stone?
Family Stone, another really good movie. Craig T. Nelson plays the dad. Diane Keaton is the mother.
Nelson.
It's got it's got Luke. Oh fuck! Give me some Hoff for a second.
Okay.
All right, it's got Sarah Jessica Parker, Rachel McAdams, Dylan McDermott, Luke Wilson, Claire Danes. Really, it's a tough movie in one case because Diane Keaton's character is dying of cancer. And
spoiler alert.
Sorry, but you learn it throughout the movie, and they're all adult kids coming home for Christmas. But there's some really fun. It's actually a really, really, really good movie. It's a fantastic movie. I haven't seen it in a few years, but it
sounds terrible.
Worth a listen. It's a tough movie if you've lost a parent to cancer, is all I'll say. Like my wife and I have never watched it together because she has no appetite for watching it. But
she doesn't want to see an actor die of cancer.
Well,
for 2 hours.
She lost her dad to it.
I understand.
That. But so
even if you didn't, I don't know if I want to watch that around the holidays.
No, but it's not. That's not. She's not really a main character. She's the mom. That's happening around it. Yeah. But it's really well done. The relationships between them are fantastic. So I'm not going to argue with it. I'm a Love Actually guy myself, but I'm a big Family Stone fan too. Naturally.
Wow. Next one from Molon Lobby. Couch is attacked in an alley. Does he A, use his black banana as a weapon? B, hide behind the small women following? C, talk to the attacker, tell him he used to work in K-Zoo and isn't rich, but he looks like he comes from money?
This is a question for you.
Well, you can't really use a black banana as a weapon, right?
No,
it's kind of mushy.
Yeah.
I definitely think Graham would try to talk to the attacker and talk him down. I think that's what he'd do.
Well, it depends. Yeah,
and then you would annoy the person, and they would
they just
stab at you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I would definitely try and reason with him, probably.
Yeah. Monica Lucas. If we were to ask Graham's laptop keyboard for a Christmas carol of Graham's favorite things to eat while traveling the country covering college sports, what are the top 12 favorite foods, like the 12 days of Christmas, to eat and where you get them? Let me help you get you started. On the first day of coverage, my laptop saw me eat a red velvet groovy donut with cream cheese. Love you, man.
Appreciate you, Monica. Thanks for bringing that up. Look, and a groovy donut, a red velvet groovy donut would be absolutely the top of the list. You've all seen me eat that over this laptop, which has somehow survived several years. Actually, this is like the third version of said laptop. But, favorite foods I've eaten over the laptop, pizza is number one. It's something that, I just, in all settings, groovy donuts is in the top. It's the top sweet of any sort. By far, and then after groovy donuts, I would go to a Melting Moments ice cream sandwich, probably some Pringles somewhere in there, some beef jerky maybe, soup, probably soup.
Are you listing every food you ate or something?
Things I've eaten over this laptop, yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
Sorry, that's 5 of them at least.
I'd like to get out of here by midnight.
Okay.
Ben, what grade would you give MSU athletics for the 2021 season overall?
That's a good question. So 21, are we talking basketball last year and football this year?
Sure.
All right. So, and then, women's basketball, volleyball, and then the program sort of surviving. I want to, you cut them a break because they were in real financial and dire straits in a lot of ways, and I think they did cut a sport, and whether that had to be done related to COVID at all is debatable. But I don't know. I'd give them like I think they made a really good hire with Alan Haller, his athletic director. Obviously, they were able to keep Mel Tucker, and those are the type of decisions that help you make do well going forward. So I would give them a B overall, even though last year's basketball wasn't great, but they rebounded really well with this one. Some of their non-revs haven't done as well, but it's been a tough year for them, and they've been in weird seasons. So a B+ probably.
Ben, Graham, are you the most Eric Cartman like of your friend group, you big fat fuck? That's not very nice.
It's not nice. But no, I have.
Are you the Eric Cartman like friend of your group?
Yeah. No, there are other Eric Cartmans in my friend group. So, but
oh man, what's the names? Ben, Rube, what are your 5 worst regular words or names of the show to say? Quixote has to be number 1. I don't mind saying it. I don't know. Quixote, Quixote. Anytime there's something thrown in there and it's a semi-big word for my vocabulary, yeah, I hate those pretty much. Chris Eastlick, would Jeremy Langford's run at running back have happened in this era of the transfer portal?
So there are 2 ways to look at this. One is no. But the other thought is, depending on the coach and the situation, like under Mark D'Antonio at that time, and even if Mark D'Antonio was the coach now, it might have. So, but right, if it was Mel Tucker and it was now, he would have gone out and gotten somebody probably. And I don't know if Langford would have been given the opportunity because Langford wasn't ready for it. They tried to make Langford the guy before he was, and they moved him around. They played him defensive back, receiver, I think a little bit. It's a great question, and it's a reason that one of the things that's going to take player discipline and coach discipline is the ability to develop guys and have patience, the ability to redshirt and not leave. Now, you may feel like something's not, but you already see it with Michigan State guys transferring out and guys transferring out from other programs. And I'm not saying there isn't a better fit somewhere else, but a lot of freshmen, it doesn't happen for. And you're going to have to be able to say, hey, I need to give this another year. The other thing is, because you don't have to sit out, if you think there's a chance things might be right for you, yeah, why not stick it out? You can leave after the next year, I think. But I do think it's going to take some player discipline, which means parental. Like I wanted to transfer at one point from Columbia College Chicago, and my dad was like, "Well, you're not going to do that." So there's that.
Was he the dog at that time when he was talking to you?
Sent me a column.
Next one from Eastlick, sticking with the portal topic. If it was around sooner, would it have helped Izzo or hurt Izzo? He'd have the MSU brand on his side, but less patience from those 3 to 4 year players that made him most successful.
Yeah, that's a good question. It depends when it was around, right? Or how much sooner. I think if the portal had been around when Izzo still had a move in him, like if this was 10 years ago, I think Izzo leaves for sure.
If LeBron doesn't leave Cleveland.
Yeah, but he had other chances, and he started waiting for the best spot. I think he had other – obviously that one he might have left anyway. If LeBron had said he was going to stay, he would have left regardless. Sure. But I'm just saying I think he would have left for an NBA job if the portal was around before that, because he had some other opportunities, especially when Flip Saunders was in charge of the Timberwolves and things like that. It's a really good question how much he would have adjusted. Like, Izzo hates the idea that I always say that, if he was younger and if he had to rebuild a program right now, that he would be big into social media. And he doesn't believe that. But the reason he doesn't have to be on social media is because he's already Tom motherfucking Izzo. And he's 66 years old and he's established it, and he doesn't need that. It's not part of his brand. It's not part of what. But if you're a 44-year-old version of him, you'd do it differently, But it's a good question. I don't know the answer.
We're dropping MFers now?
Last one from Eastlick. Eggnog, yay or nay? I say yay. Hated it as a kid, though. Merry Christmas. Appreciate you. And from Mojo Jojo. Graham, can you spin zone eggnog for me? Never tried. Great year, gents. Appreciate you and your overperforming MSU football and basketball teams.
Caution!
Yeah.
You are about to enter the spin zone with noted newspaper columnist and radio host Graham Couch.
There's no need to spin eggnog. I'm pro eggnog. Are you pro eggnog?
I hate eggnog.
Okay.
Gross.
I love eggnog, and trying to keep me from dying of obesity. My wife, we had a jug of eggnog the other week for some people, and she's poured half of it out. She left us each one little cup left so we could taste a little, because she just knew that my raccoon ass was going to get in the fridge. And just because when I was in my 20s in December, I did not drink milk. I was like, it is eggnog month. This stuff is fantastic. Why would anybody have milk in December? It's so good.
How much sugar is in eggnog?
Probably too much. A lot. Yeah, I mean, there's.
So you wanted more, but she threw it away.
I didn't even. I thought other people just drank it, and eventually she explained to me what had happened to the rest of the eggnog.
Mojo Jojo, which recent movie is best to see with Skyman? Spider-Man, Matrix, or Encanto? Great year, gents. Appreciate you and our overperforming. Wait, did he write that twice?
I think I put it in there twice. Sorry, I didn't put it up with the previous.
I was about to say, is he tagging everyone?
Yeah,
like that.
Appreciate you, Mojo Jojo.
Yeah.
Which
any of them?
I have not.
I can
seen
really, honestly, I could watch any one out of the three. I mean, none of the three make me. I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. Give me some Skyman, I'm in.
Yeah, yeah. No,
and drive to the theater.
If you wind up watching a movie that is not your cup of tea, Skyman is a huge help. Skyman can
wound up with that one.
Yep. Yeah, it is beautiful. And there, if you're in the Lansing area, 3 locations. One in East Lansing where we had our tailgate. One on Saginaw, Pennsylvania there, and one on South Cedar. There are Skymans throughout the state of Michigan. 3 new locations opening early next year. We'll get into those early in the next year. But if you go to skymint.com, you can see the location next to you, and some great deals still going on before Christmas. Get yourself through the holiday with Skymint.
Ryan Schultz, assuming Jarrett Horst has left the program, how hopeful should we be that the O-line can play at an upper-tier Big Ten level in 22?
It's a good question because they're going to lose some, it's going to start being about development of young guys there. And this is when that coaching staff that everybody says is really good, and, that you're going to have to start seeing the development there. And I don't – look, the offensive line for me, I'm just a little jaded because I've watched a lot of mediocre and worse line play at Michigan State in the recent years. I am very much in a see to believe mode, and it will be even with the stat. I thought they took good strides this year, but I don't think you can. Hopeful is okay because I think you should trust the staff at this point to a certain degree, or at least think there's a chance that they can get things going. But I wouldn't trust it.
Next one from Ryan is Couch in the Rube, a sports podcast, or an hour-and-a-half long advertisement for drinking, gambling, getting high, and financial planning. Other than Groovy Donuts, who thank God you can't ruin for me, the past 2 weeks feel like Graham has sponsor Tourette's.
Hey, man.
We're working on it.
It's a nice
Don't let Graham ruin anything for you, please.
Yeah.
Support our sponsors.
By the way, if you tee me up here, I can do 5 minutes straight, so don't, be careful.
Next one from Ryan. This show means a lot to me and a lot of people. Appreciate you guys, and Merry Christmas. Oh, shit, that's not a question. Is Jalen Naylor's decision to stay or leave at all contingent on his bowl performance?
Appreciate you, by the way, Ryan, and Merry Christmas.
It's possible.
Yeah, see, the thing with Jalen Naylor is I don't know. We haven't talked to him in a long time. I have not talked to him in a long time because he's hurt for so long. I am curious where his head is, and I need to talk to some, I don't have like deep NFL reserves of sources, but I have a couple scouts that I can lean on a little bit and get a sense of what they think of him. I just think because of his injuries, if he's got a shot, look, Cody White, everybody thought was insane for leaving. He's stuck in the NFL. I wouldn't be surprised, and I think for him this is an opportunity to showcase a little bit. I think he's a really interesting case because if he does come back, he will be the guy next year, most likely, and if he can stay healthy, a chance to really put up big numbers and maybe improve his stock even more. But, again, he hadn't been able to stay healthy, so I can see in his head thinking, I don't know if I get a healthy year next year. I'm going to go while I'm okay.
Andrew Zoiza, fairly new listener here, and my wife heard the pod for the first time while in the car, and she agrees with you, Graham, on COVID protocols, but then you guys started talking about human excrement.
If Bingham and Christie return in 2022, is MSU's preseason national title favorite?
Yeah, I apologize, Andrew. I don't remember. Was that a Hans thing that led to that?
No, we were talking about when you take a dump, just have a courtesy flush. If you're, with your significant other, if they can do that, it'd be nice.
Okay, maybe that was
just kill the smell. You don't want to smell your
no. We covered it the other day.
Shit.
Absolutely. I'm with you.
Especially like in a porta potty or something.
Yeah, no, the porta potties though. For a long time, I wouldn't camp any place without real running water. I didn't want to do the porta potties. If Bingham and Christie return 2022, is MSU a preseason national title favorite? I think it helps drastically, and I think Christie at this point, and obviously things could. You look at like some of the you got to be careful with mock drafts and when they happened. Like there's a mock draft preseason that have Christie going in the late teens, and I wonder how that's turned. But he's also a guy that is a 6'6", 6'7" shooter. If he got hot for a couple months, we've seen it with other guys where that could change. But I think more than Gabe Brown, like I think this is Gabe Brown's moment in college. Maybe there's value in coming back, but I think Bingham, that will be more of a question. And Christie, I certainly think might have good value in coming back and being able to be a headline guy. And so, and I do. I think this is a 2-year group. I don't know if they're the national title favorite because I don't know who else is coming back. What's Baylor have coming back? Who's Gonzaga's roster next year? All that stuff. But I think it becomes one of those years where from the onset they're a contender.
Couch on fire. What will you be looking for in the Peach Bowl other than Peyton Thorne's play?
Yeah, who plays at running back? Does Elijah Collins get some run? Where they go there? How the offensive line does, without having Kenneth Walker, and then that secondary. Like you've had weeks to sort of build a game plan and sort of get your mojo back, and I want to see what they look like.
Next from Couch on Fire, what do you think Izzo's thought on the refs was last night? Does it start with an A?
Probably. Yeah. Although they
weren't too bad.
They weren't awful overall. In fact,
didn't call that goaltend. That was a nice call.
They missed that. And and Campy even said, he goes, Campy was real blunt. He said they missed that call and they shouldn't have given him a tech. He goes, doesn't mean they poorly officiated the game. It just you can do a good job and make a mistake right there, and they made a mistake on that play.
Couch on Fire. What's your New Year's resolutions?
What are yours?
I don't know if I have any.
No?
No.
You perfect as you are?
No, not at all. I just can't think of any. I mean, I got back into the gym. I'm doing that. I'm trying to watch my figure. So, most people do that. I really don't have many bad habits anymore. I don't booze. I don't chew tobacco anymore. What am I going to do? Like take less Skyman? Get the fuck out of here with that.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I'm not perfect. I just can't think of anything. I mean, if you came up with something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Be on my phone less? I don't know.
Yeah, no, those are the sort of things for me. It's drop the weight and keep it off. Get myself, quit fucking around at this weight. Because at a certain point, like my body, I have been gifted by the grace of God with this body, and I mean that in the best terms. What I mean by that is, at 260 pounds,
Jesus,
at 42 years. Well, I've got a big rib cage. I'm like most people at 220, but I can run up and down the court for 2 hours on a basketball court, and I've never had a major knee injury, never torn an Achilles. I'm 42 playing at 260. I am tempting fate at this point. Like at this point, it's only my fault if something goes wrong. So I need to drop it so I can keep doing that stuff.
And you can have sex with the lights on again.
That too, and the time management stuff. Get that stuff. Got a lot going in life, and just try to really have it.
I hope you didn't
organized.
jinx yourself.
I know.
The injury shit.
I feel like
why are you going on and on about that?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that.
42 years old, going up and down the court with no problems.
Fix that in post.
Yeah. Go TA. Andrew. Is the Old Fashioned the king of all cocktails?
I'm a huge fan of the Old Fashioned. I think it's a classic. I think it's something that it sort of tests a bartender too, because if a bartender's good if they make a decent Old Fashioned.
Just what bartenders love.
Yeah.
Douchebags testing them.
Well, I mean,
when you're at a holiday party and they're making tips.
It's not a hard drink.
Old Fashioned. What is it? What's in it?
It's sour. It's whiskey, sugar, and little
Cockburn.
Fuck it. I don't really know everything, but it's a fantastic drink, and I love it, and I get it all the time. And I make them at home too. That's why I should know it. I have this little kit that makes them, but I wouldn't be a real good bartender. So.
Andrew, go to
we fix that one and post this whole show.
I'm gonna be here till 1 a.m. Seriously, what's up with Hauser? I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just sad now.
What's weird is every time there are these questions, like Izzo thought he played really well yesterday, and I don't think he was bad.
Well, you have to be positive.
Well, he had he had a number of rebounds, and the ball does move when he's on the floor. He did hit one good three in the second half. He just
the ball does move when he's on the floor.
Well, no, Izzo said the ball. I mean, he is somebody who sort of encourages ball movement, not bowel movements, ball movement. That wasn't funny. We'll fix that in post.
Room temperature takes Tyson Walker should be getting 30-plus point guard minutes per night.
So I do think there's a gap that's very obvious between Walker and Hogard. But Hogard's playing pretty well and does some things. They're just different players, and Hogard's a confident guy, and if he can eliminate that, you can see it. It's like a bull running into like a red cloth or something at times. It's like I have to charge into this situation and create a turnover for myself. If he can eliminate that, I still think 14, 15 a game. And the other thing, I'm talking minutes, you saw last night in key times playing him with Walker when he wanted more ball handling out there. I think that could happen a little bit. But you're right, Walker's the guy. Should be more than 25 a game if he's playing well and not in foul trouble.
Room temperature takes MSU could use one more three-point shooter off the bench. We might actually miss Foster Lawyer.
He's having a great season at Davidson. Good for Foster. I think they'll be okay there, though, because I think Max Christie will. I mean, between Max Christie and Joey Hauser and Jay Nakins, who's capable of him too, like there ought to be there's enough shooting on this team. It doesn't feel like it sometimes, but I don't know who would lose the minutes for that shooting. They just need one of those guys to hit shots.
Next from room temperature, MSU Hoops is really going to have another Final Four potential season ruined by COVID, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Omicron or whatever it's called.
Yeah, no, I don't think Hoops is going to be ruined by this. I think the NFL playoffs, I think the college football playoff, I think all the bowl games, these are the things that are threatened. Omicron, I don't think this is, and this is just me speaking out of my ass optimistically, but I mean, and it may be awful for hospitals in the near term, and we may get hit with a huge crunch of it. But I think it's, it seems like it hopefully is a little less deadly. It's going to hit hard and maybe drive Delta out of away from being the dominant strain. We're going to hit hard and fast with it, and then by February, I'm hoping. I think the college hoops postseason actually timeline wise looks in decent shape. It's football that's going to struggle to finish right here.
Fauci, look at you. Tanner Myers.
I watch a lot of cable news.
How is Tim Lester still the coach at Western Michigan? Guy is overpaid and ass.
I like Tim personally.
Nice guy.
And
Matt Shepard.
And I don't pay enough attention anymore to know that I know WMU fans aren't happy. It's always going to be a tough job following Fleck, but I know that people think they've sort of underachieved. And so I get it. I just don't have I haven't seen enough to make that judgment myself.
I believe Tanner. Next from Tanner. What is wrong with people who don't take all of their vacation? You can't roll that shit over. It's a hill I'm willing to die on.
Should always take your vacation.
Why wouldn't you, though? Are you trying to be a kiss ass? Well, your boss sees that you don't.
You sometimes just run out of. I mean, it's hard to do in certain jobs. Like my buddy Scott Powers didn't take a single day of vacation this year because he had paternity leave. And then the season starts, and he covers the black. Like, when are you going to take when was he going to take the 6 weeks or whatever he's supposed to take? Like during the season, like it just doesn't. Some people's jobs don't really allow for their. But I agree, you have to get your time in. I work for a company now that just started doing for salaried employees unlimited vacation. Oh, they're going to regret that.
Unlimited?
Well, the idea is,
all right. I'll see you guys in 2023.
They do it because it's a cheaper way. You don't have to pay out vacation if people leave. And people they've done studies, take less vacation when you give it unlimited. Screw that. I know exactly how much I used to have, and I'm going to always take that, and maybe I'll take an extra week. Unlimited.
Just take every Friday off.
Don't try and game the system on me. I'll game you. If my boss is listening, can we fix that in post? Thanks.
Tanner Myers, please tell my wife that staying in for New Year's Eve is better than bars.
Put her on.
Yep.
We'll talk.
It's awful. Unless, how old is your wife, though?
That's true.
Younger ladies like to go out and stuff. But Spartan 18770, would you consider doing a story about how Blackwell's dismissal from the team affected MSU's ability to recruit top talent, especially in the Detroit area?
I mean, it obviously did. I don't know how much of a story that is, though, right now. I mean, it's the previous regime. It was obvious that it happened. I just don't know if it's relevant to the moment, but it's clear that it made a difference in recruiting, losing Blackwell.
Next one, Spartan 18770. With possible bowl cancellations on the horizon, could you see class action lawsuits by fans and bowl committees against schools who canceled due to COVID?
I don't think so. I mean, they're not trying to do it. They don't have enough players to play like Texas A&M, and I can see for fans right now, you want to be cautious on, tickets and plane tickets and all that stuff, and non-refundable hotels. Don't do that. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know if and when I'm going to Atlanta now, because everything's going virtual and all the interviews. And
so what's the point?
Right. And maybe you can argue being there for the game, although I didn't find it last year. Maybe there's something there with the setting and fans, and there's just something that will add. But is it worth the bang for your buck? So if anything, I'm going down for the game. But all the days before, all that stuff, it kind of sucks because it was going to be kind of a fun trip. But I'm not going to waste my company's money like a lot of other writers do.
Nick Palmer, what are your New Year's resolutions? I think we did this.
Yeah, did I? Well, we might have two people have the same thing, but we went through these. Yeah, we did that one.
Next one from Nick. What's your best story as a groomsman?
How many times have you been a groomsman?
Oh, once.
Okay.
Once? Twice. 2 times. Yeah. I don't really know what we did that was that cool. Is there any... I don't know. We stole a lot of the bottles of liquor that his dad bought for the wedding. That was kind of bad.
Yeah, I've been a groomsman 4 or 5 times, and yeah.
You know who's ass, though, in those situations? Is the photographer. If you get a douchey photographer, like this guy, when we were groomsmen, we were like getting into the like he wanted every step of the way, and he's like, "Hey, sir, can you turn around?" I was like just holding the handle to the van to get in there. He's like, "Can you turn around and take a picture?" I'm like, "No."
Hire a newspaper person, and we did we did this because if you hire, they'll do the pose stuff you want and all that stuff as well. But you get great candid shots, and those are the ones that you want in the album, and you want forever. The ones that you're not sitting there posed, and the ones that they capture moments. I'm telling you, they're great at it. I was best man in a wedding in Lansing about 11 years ago, and ran out on as a bachelor party. We had a limo that we really destroyed, and ran out on didn't run out, but accidentally left a unpaid $400 tab at a bar. That wasn't great. I mean, went back the next day and found the person. Had to rewrite the speech because I realized after the woman was Armenian, and so all the Armenians are they don't get always American humor, and they're a little scary. Like, have you ever seen The Shield, the Armenian money train and everything? So I have this speech, and we're on the limo, on the way to the reception, and I'm just crossing out lines because I thought I was going to get my ass kicked, but I don't know. That's not a great story.
You know what? Another picture he took, this guy that was the photographer, he took off his watch and handed it to the best man. And he said, point at the watch and then look at your brother, who was the groom, and say, time's a ticking.
Yeah, post shit, man. Don't do that.
I was like, that's not happening in our wedding in Mexico.
Hire photojournalists. That would be my take.
Yeah. Spartan 8. Oh, Nick Palmer. Will Couch and the Rube gear still be available after Christmas?
That is the plan. We plan to keep the store. We're going to figure that out. But yes, the plan is that you'll be able to buy it, and we'll just ship as you purchase. So that we're going to get that sorted out here.
Spartan 18770. Guys, what is the worst present you got and gave for Christmas? I had a girlfriend get me a cashmere sweater that was expensive. And I'm like, what about me screams cashmere sweater? She was trying to dress me the way she wanted her dude, you know.
Yeah.
Our relationship was like 4 months long. But I returned it and got like 5 shirts. It wasn't like complete ass as a gift. I was just like, what? Like, put it on. It was just like, what am I going to wear cashmere for?
I mean, I got my wife a vacuum, which is never great. I've gotten her 2 vacuums, actually. But not one was for her birthday. And she loved that. That was a Roomba. But she asked for the other one, and so I wouldn't wrap it because I didn't want to look like a douche. And it wasn't the main gift. I'm trying to think what the
Why would you look like a douche because you wrapped it?
I didn't want it to be an actual gift. I was like, I will give you this because you've asked for it as a thing. Like I just purchased a vacuum, but it's not going to be counting as one of your Christmas gifts.
All right.
I'm trying to think of the worst gift I've given. You know, I used to give my dad shirts that I wanted that I knew he wouldn't wear. Like, you know, I was a kid, I'd be like, oh, this is a sweet T-shirt. I'll get that for Dad. I don't know. It's a good question. I saw this earlier. I'm a good gift giver. I don't think I've given a lot of bad ones in terms of ones I've been given that have been shit. I don't, you know, I'm trying to remember things I've absolutely. I mean, I've had, you know, you remember those jeans that like in middle school had like they're almost like MC Hammer pants, but they were jeans. They had
with pleats on them.
Pleats, and they had a like a Velcro thing that a flap and everything. And my grandparents bought me those, and then stayed with us. And so I actually had to wear them to middle school a couple times.
Oh! Here comes the hammer.
It was bad. Like I was not cool enough to pull that off in middle school. I was trying to be cool. That did not help.
Call me Al. No way MSU runs a 4-2-5 defense next year, right? Maybe a 4-3?
Yeah, these are good offseason questions that will be asked. And I'm curious to see what they unveil in this bowl game and how the 4-2-5 looks and how much they think scheme was the issue. Now, they've certainly brought in a couple linebackers, right? And they've got linebackers returning. And so there's, you know, you start to think, well, maybe is it just depth or are they looking to play three guys?
Call me Al. Is there talk on the Spartan Stadium upgrades reducing capacity?
I think there's talk on making the experience better. I don't know how much capacity reduction. I think overall stadiums are going to get smaller, but it's not. And I haven't looked at all the things they're planning to do. But I know from talking to Alan Haller, like he's very interested in the stadium experience for fans and what makes that better. And I think they would go that route if it made sense.
Call me Al. LCA feels cozy and spacious. Good vibe, great for a date or meeting. Reminds me of somewhere, but can't put my finger on it. Any help?
Good old Midtown Brewing Company. About as cozy and spacious as you can find. Great menu, great beer selection. And same for Front 43 and Cask & Company. If you're looking to watch the games over the holidays, Front 43 and Cask & Company, just an outstanding place. This Sunday, they're open, right? Great place to watch the NFL, bowl games, Premier League soccer, whatever it is you want to watch, Front 43 and Cask & Company, and just a great place for happy hour, good place for lunch. I had an outstanding lunch with Monica and Andrew last week there.
Trees, non-high take. A little late, of course. Why does Frandor only have one gas station, and you have to be Frogger expert level to get there?
This must have just happened, right?
Yeah. I told her not to go to that speedway. There's a gas station down the street. You have to go towards East Lansing, but it's down there. I think there's still a marathon down there. I would never, ever go to that speedway.
It's not. I don't mind it. It's not as bad. You get used to it. It's open late, and you can cross to the other side from the two sides of Saginaw Grand River, whatever, easily. It's not that bad. At certain times of day, I'm sure it's a pain in the ass.
Frandor's ass, dude. Al, what are your 2022 MSU sports predictions?
So give me a MSU football season prediction next year.
No way. Why?
I don't know.
I don't know any. We don't know the team. What's going to happen yet? I'm
not
giving any predictions.
Like I said, I do think this is a basketball team that went from like ceiling Sweet 16 to, I'm not saying floor Sweet 16. They could lose before that, but I'm just saying to a Sweet 16 team with a chance to do more. If that helps. Next year will be very interesting because this year was that year where they weren't expected to do anything, and it was all gravy, and they had the Heisman candidate, and Mel Tucker could do no wrong, and they won the close games. That gets hard to do, and it gets hard to get the right transfers and build it. And there will be, it'll be interesting to see if they have a 7-5 year, and I think that's fair and part of the process. There's nothing wrong going 7-5 as you're trying to build it, but it'd be interesting to see sort of the reaction and especially if Michigan is, good again and a problem, and it'll be very interesting to see how that all shakes out.
Al, what is your favorite Christmas carol?
What's yours?
Jingle, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two.
Barbra Streisand on cocaine doing the Christmas album.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. That's Feliz Navidad, for sure.
Absolutely.
Al, what are your top 3 predictions for the Lansing area in 2022?
Tear down City Hall, build a hotel looking at the Capitol. I got very little.
Good start.
Schools of choice goes away. Lansing schools flush with all sorts of cool situations. I got nothing.
Tax breaks for people that don't have kids.
Yes, that's it right
Not
there.
polluting this earth. Paul E. Show. Ferris State won Division II title over the 100 former Michigan high school footballers. What does that say about the state of high school football in Michigan compared to other states?
Won it with 100 former.
With, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, Ferris has a hell of a program, by the way. They've sort of taken over where Grand Valley was. They've got 3 local kids as well. No, I don't, it's still Division II. Michigan does not have Ohio, Texas, Florida football, but I don't think it's bad football around here. I never have. I've always hated that excuse. But I've always thought it's better at the MAC D2 level maybe than it is the number of kids that we have that are high Big Ten recruits.
Paul E. Show, what's the grossest food Raccoon Graham has eaten when he's had the munchies?
When Skymint is led me to the fridge late at night, I've definitely eaten like things straight out of the can, like split pea soup straight out of the can, probably. I mean, I don't know how gross that is.
Are you a big condiment guy? Like if you had like chicken tenders or something, would you have like 5 sauces out?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Nah, I don't. Not too bad. I have like dipped. I'll give you it. Oh, God, this is not great. So I had shrimp once, a shrimp ring that we hadn't finished at like a party and a gathering, but we were out of cocktail sauce, so it was like, I think I just emptied half a ketchup bottle and just dipped shrimp in ketchup, which is pretty disgusting actually, and just tried to make my way through it.
How high you are.
I was pretty stoned. Yeah, it was all right.
Works in a pinch.
Yep, absolutely.
Ryan Allen, does MSU basketball or MSU football make it to the Final Four or playoff first?
Well,
it's got to be Final Four.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if the playoff gets to 12, that changes the equation, right? But if it stays at 4, I think MSU basketball, given the way they're playing now and what they might have next year, you have to say is more likely to be there.
Ryan Allen, why do so many Michigan fans listen to your show and then complain when we bash them too much? I don't hear MSU fans asking Locked on Michigan host questions.
Well, first of all, I appreciate that, and I like that people think it's a safe space for all fans. The other thing is we're not locked on the Locked On pod. We're not. I mean, we do a lot of Michigan State stuff because it was interesting when this show started. I thought it would be less Michigan State than it is when we were doing 5 days a week, and it probably was back then. But obviously, that was where, in terms of promoting it, my audience was the people that I could reach, and it's certainly where my level of any expertise probably is. So. It's become more of that, but it is a fair question though. If you're listening to this, you are going to get a Michigan State take on a lot of things, but we should be civil, right?
Yeah, we talk about a lot of other things, other topics.
Yeah, and I've always wanted this to be the show that if I could listen to one podcast, if I had time to listen to one, then it was, I was an MSU fan that would give me the MSU. Fix when stuff was happening with MSU, the Detroit stuff, the gambling stuff, the life stuff. Just if I had one, and so that's sort of what it is. And so all those other components are still there. And so I'm glad that some Michigan fans enjoy it. And some people, I think, like you have friends who listen just to like when things are going wrong for Michigan State, they want to hear.
Oh, absolutely. My friend Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they made the college football playoff. Previous to that, I didn't really hear from him much, but whatever. Ryan Allen. For this upcoming draft class, would you take K9 or the field? Who has the better career, K9 or someone else from the running back field?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard with I think he's going to be a good NFL back. I think he's got some of the Jonathan Taylor stuff in him. I think he looks like a durable guy. You never know 100%. I've been wrong on college running backs that I thought were great, but he does. I think he'll be a good NFL back. I don't know everybody is available and what to develop into, but I would probably take Kenneth Walker. I think he's going to be a guy who, and guys don't have long careers, but I think he's a guy who's got a chance to be a starting NFL back.
Alex James, isn't it funny how COVID only seems to hit players on football teams not competing for championships?
Well, I mean, I think those other teams are being real careful. It's interesting that, like, Alabama's sending their players home. I think that's what's going to get interesting, that these guys are going home for the holidays or home right now and then are going to come back when COVID's everywhere. I think that's where you're going to see a lot of teams aren't testing right now because their players aren't, they've gotten home for a couple days or, that'll be very interesting.
Jonathan B., what is the ceiling for Matty Sissoko?
It's a good question. I mean, he's taken some strides. He's obviously behind a couple guys. I still think it's an important year for him because they need him at the end of this year. They at least need to know at the end of this year, can they count on him moving forward? If it's him and Marble next year, do they need to go out and get another big? Or is that duo, as Sissoko develops and what Marble's becoming, is that good? I don't know. I'm always intrigued by guys who are raw because they have the most room to grow. Some of them don't get that much better at how much. With big guys, it's hard to tell how much of a basketball junkie somebody is, how much they truly love the game sometimes. He's not as tall as you think he is. Like, he's basically 6'8", but he's bouncy and athletic, and he's got sharp elbows, so I think he can be effective in the college game.
Next one from Jonathan. How can anyone think the note card scene in Love Actually is romantic? It's his best friend's girl.
It's the worst scene in the movie. I don't get why it's become a popular hit. You've got Hugh Grant in the movie, for fuck's sake. You've got so many good, you've got the great love scene in the Portuguese restaurant. You've got, there's just some incredible scenes in that. You've got the when he puts down Billy Bob Thornton as the president in that speech. You've got some great stuff. That's just I don't get it. I don't get it either. It's become popular, and it's I don't like weak men, and that guy's a weak male character.
Really? You don't like weak men?
Nope.
Get you a strong man. Jonathan B., can Jason pronounce peculiar? I can't. Appreciate you guys. Have a joyful, relaxing holiday.
Appreciate you, Jonathan.
Peculiar. Spartan Johnny, MSU chances of beating Michigan and Ohio State higher in 2022 or 23?
Yeah, it's hard to know, but I would say 23 just because you're counting on Mel Tucker's recruiting and his building of the program, and the longer he has to do that, you have to think the program gets more sound, better depth. So you'd say 23.
Spartan Johnny, what's your favorite prop bet for the Peach Bowl?
So those aren't really out yet, and at least I have not seen them many places or any place yet, and they're not yet on the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. But the things to watch here, and we'll talk about, I'll tweet them out as we get close, at least when I see one I like, because every once in a while there's, there have been some games this year where Jaden Reed's receiving numbers I thought the over should hit. There have been, sometimes you can, on college bowl games, you can, I'm trying to think, there was a game where back in the day, Josiah Price it was like over 1.5 catches in a bowl game, and you just kind of knew that was going to happen for him, and he had 2 catches pretty quickly. So I don't know what there will be yet and what will be offered.
I mean, Peyton Thorne yards, right? It'd probably be, 265
over
and under?
Yeah, and yeah, I'd probably go over. Bowl games tend to have a lot of offense.
Spartan Johnny, what is your top ask of Santa this year? I want the custom MSU Nike shoes. Thanks for being here for us in 2021, guys. You are loved. Merry Christmas. Do you want to tell him that Santa's not real?
Yeah, well, but if you ask Santa for something, this goes back to the thing I was telling you. If you ask Santa, and it's the only thing you ask for, you tend to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Best thing I want is good health. No, I'm kidding. I don't do gifts with my wife.
Jesus, man. Are you a Jehovah's Witness?
No,
you don't celebrate your birthday.
No, we
celebrate
Christmas. We just stopped doing gifts. So we used to do so many gifts with my family.
Just cap it.
No, and it takes all the pressure off December. December is so much better. Not doing gifts is made Christmas 10 times better, and it just what used to be a really stressful month.
Why?
You don't have to worry about any of that because it's a busy month work wise. You don't have to worry about any of the gift stuff. We do birthday gifts. We celebrate Christmas. We have a tree. We do stocking stuffers.
So you do everything but the fun part.
Just
getting stuff.
I'm a 42-year-old man. I can buy what I want.
But it's still nice to get a gift. You cap it. T and I cap it at $200.
Okay.
Get her something nice. It's not stressful.
Yeah. We don't.
They
do
have
anymore.
Amazon. You have
It's
Amazon.
The best,
it's easy.
Best thing we've ever done.
Spartan Johnny. No, Greg Hardwick. Which is more important for the gifts of your significant other, quality or quantity?
For you.
Well, no, we know the question. The answer from you. Mine is quality. I tend to spend something on two things.
Yes. I'm the same way, though. We do it with birthday gifts. We do other gifts. Like something she really wants more than just something to.
But you don't do it.
Well, we don't need more.
So what
just
is Christmas morning like, dude? Like, it's got to be. You got to give each other something.
We do. We have. We each fill each other's stocking with fun things. But that's like
is that
$25
code for something. Greg Hardwick, what's the best gift you have given your wife or girlfriend?
What's the best thing you've ever given Therese?
Damn, dude. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's probably 20 some years of booze brain. I just can't remember right now.
Yeah.
I can't. I think this year will be pretty good, but honestly, I couldn't tell you what I got her last year. She'd have to tell me.
Yeah, I gave her a Roomba. There's that.
Trees?
No,
man. Let's say I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Greg Hardwick, is it okay to give your wife a mop bucket for Christmas as long as it's really cool? Asking for a friend.
Yeah, I mean,
if you don't want to get laid ever again,
it's not great. Can you just give her the mop bucket separately, like in January 2nd? That would be my play on that.
Still won't work.
Yeah, it's not great either way, is it?
No.
Unless she's asked for it specifically,
Please show me the woman that asked for a mop bucket for Christmas.
The Roomba, but that's somebody else doing the work, right? It's a vacuum that doesn't require them. It's the yeah, I would avoid that.
Thomas Zambiasi, which of the remaining bowl matchups looks the most exciting? I thought KSU, Wyoming, and App State, Western Kentucky were probably better than the playoff will be, to be honest.
It's a good question. I mean, obviously the
Cody Tucker enjoyed that Wyoming game.
Yeah, and obviously the Michigan State game is the game we have the most interest of here. I do want to see Ohio State, Utah. I want to see what Ohio State, if they show up and who plays for Ohio State and all that stuff. And are they going to try and make a point or not? I'm curious to see, not even just from a gambling. See, I look at these things from a gambling perspective. I want to see Kentucky flatten Iowa, things like that. I don't know if there's
I just love that Sean Chambers from Wyoming, the quarterback, he ran for like 900 yards and 4 touchdowns and then entered the transfer portal before the plane even hit the wheels hit the tarmac. Thomas Zambiasi, favorite kind of Christmas cookie? Hope you both have a great holiday.
Boy, I don't discriminate.
I don't either.
I love gingerbread cookies, but I love a good sugar cookie. Love one of those sugar
don't get
cookies.
That low voice, that Barry White voice you get when you talk about food.
With the
makes the hair stand up on my head.
The Hershey's Kiss and the
you sound like a guy commenting on an Instagram model's post. Bo McJunkins, if Spartan Stadium renovates in the future, would Graham bid on a piece of the troughs at the MSU surplus store since he enjoys them so much?
I would actually. I would love to. I've talked to my wife about a urinal, and she's not really for it. But I think I could convince on the trough for the downstairs bathroom.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. Ernie Harwell wanted one from Tiger Stadium, but Lulu would not let him. So good luck with that. Bo McJunkins, is Xavier Henderson coming back?
It's a good question. He was asked this recently, and he said he really hasn't made that decision yet. But it was interesting. He wasn't really on the senior day celebration, poster or whatever. So I don't know where his head is with that. And earlier in the year, it was pretty clear this was his last year. He was planning to be done, but I would put it at 50-50.
Bo McJunkins, Jason, what is worse, lottery people or slow self-checkout people who can't work with the technology and take 10 years to check out their 3 cans of cat food and Metamucil? I still say lottery because there's most of these places, there's more self-checkout lines, so you don't have to deal with that many people. Lottery person, I had it happen again tonight. Scratch off lottery tickets. Just taking their time. That's what bothers me the most. Put the giant purse up on the counter. I'm going to be here for a minute, so you better take some time. Hate it. Riley, ESPN Plus and Big Ten Plus are ass channels. Why is it so hard to watch the number 11 ranked team play basketball?
And I don't know how old Riley is or other people, but, back in the day, not even every game was on TV. I remember watching as a kid MSU football games that weren't on TV on like the 11 p.m. WKAR replay broadcast was the only time you could see them. Like every time they played at Minnesota in the Metrodome, and watching like Courtney Hawkins play back, and when I was like 10 years old. Obviously it's gotten a lot better, but but in this day and age, you're right. Now, one way of looking at this is we stream so much now that's just part of the streaming cost of things. But I'm with you. That game probably should have been on TV. It was a cool event game too. It wasn't like, they're playing at the.
Did you just do it back in my day when all the games weren't on TV?
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
Riley, odds D'Antonio attends the Peach Bowl. If he does, over under number of times shown on TV with Doozy, former assistant talk.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if he's planning to attend, but certainly the Narduzzi storyline will be beat to a pulp, and part of that is because the best players aren't playing in the game. Like if you're the TV broadcast, you're looking at this going, okay, what are the storylines we're going to do here? And the Kenneth Walker and the Kenny Pickett things are gone. Addison Jordan, I believe, is playing the top receiver for the Blitnikoff winner for Pitt. But it's you're going to do that quite a bit.
Riley, why is Podcast Addict the Rube's favorite? Appreciate you, Riley. Actually, when Doug cut that, I just told Doug one time that my podcast player was Podcast Addict. I didn't really gush about it, so he put it in the thing we play. Franco, is Jack Frost with Michael Keaton the most bizarre, creepy, bad Christmas movie ever?
I've never seen it. Have you?
No.
I haven't either. I've seen some bad Christmas movies, some great ones, but and some great Michael Keaton movies. The Paper would be my recommendation to people, too. If you ever see a 1994 movie, The Paper, outstanding movie with Michael Keaton.
It's about Christmas?
No, it's about a newspaper.
Well,
Marissa Tomei's in it,
But they're asking for Christmas.
I know, but when you get to January, The Paper would be good to watch.
Double A Ron, how high do you think the ceiling is for this MSU basketball team? Are you surprised by the success they've had so far this season?
Yeah, I am. I don't want to say I'm a little surprised. Sort of what I thought could happen would happen if Marcus Bingham took the next step, and if Tyson Walker was who I thought they could be. Walker, I'm not as surprised about. I was more surprised by his slow start, I guess. I thought he was going to be really good. Bingham, I didn't think this was going to happen for him. And so while I thought this could be the result if he played really well, I did think some new blood and new chemistry with the team was needed, and that might help. But, yeah, no, I'm definitely surprised.
Next from Double A Ron, do you think MSU football will have similar success next season, 9-3 or better?
It's hard to, because this year's team seemed like a team that was probably 7-5 but won the close games. And will they continue to have that trait? And it's hard to predict a team that's still building a program, still building, going 9-3 or better. But I think they've established that they should be a winning team. They're going to have a veteran quarterback. How quickly can they build that defense into something? That's really the question.
Last one from Double A Ron. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Same for drinks.
Well, Groovy Donuts would be the go. But if I can't just have Groovy Donuts, and
you would ask Mark and Jay from LP Financial.
Yeah, and whether or just hang out at Front 43 and Gas Company. No, pizza would be it for me.
Every day of your life.
Well, if you could only have one, what would it be for you?
It would be like a chicken breast or something, like a chicken salad or something.
Fuck that.
What do you mean? It makes me feel good. I understand pizza, but I don't want to eat I don't want to eat anything. Why do we have to answer this?
Same for drinks. What would you have drink-wise?
Well, the only thing that I don't drink coffee, so Monster energy drink cut with water.
Yeah, mine would be
gives
coffee.
Me energy.
Coffee, for sure.
I've tried coffee. It just doesn't. I can't do it. Jerry Curl, have you thought about reducing the amount of people that submit questions? Got way too many weirdos submitting questions, me included.
Appreciate you, Jerry. We like all of you weirdos, though. We like,
It's what makes the show.
Yeah, it's kind of critical to it.
Neurotic Pants. Would you agree that COVIDiots are too stupid to understand long COVID and stressing the healthcare system? They seem to forget it's not just about getting super sick or dying.
No, what's happening in hospitals is discouraging, and the fact that people don't seem to care about that, and so many people are still, despite the evidence that, look, if you're like over 40 at this point and not in amazing shape, or over 50 at all, and you're still, I don't get it. I don't, if you're 22 and you want to tell me you're not worried about it, and you're not going to wind up in the hospital, that's one thing. But I don't understand the 50-year-old man who's dying.
But you see multiple people dying when you watch the news.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, what else do you need to see?
I don't get the 50-year-old man who dies from COVID right now who's unvaccinated. I don't understand it.
Neurotic pants. If I asked to work remotely, then is attending MSU sporting events hypocritical?
No, lots of people. I mean, those are two different things. It's not just about being away from people. It's about, some people get more done at home. Some people just like wearing basketball shorts while they work and not having the commute. I don't think that's hypocritical at all.
Neurotic pants. Am I a whack packer?
Jason?
I don't think he's a whack packer. Like I said, I don't want to name names. It's just too mean. Grob, a Georgia linebacker, texted Mel Tucker, and suddenly he's game planning for Georgia. Michigan fans are hilarious. Tuck likely said they don't put a linebacker on a slot receiver and give up 33 points.
I missed this whole thing. I don't know what happened. I've been working on other stuff.
I don't know.
But apparently there was look, I don't know what's happened here, but I'm all for the drama, though. If Mel Tucker's creating drama in Michigan's bowl game and vice versa, I enjoy that because those guys are actually involved in the rivalry, and I enjoy it.
Grob saw Solari on the Spiro Avenue show. He was quite good. When are you going to have him on?
We're probably not going to have him on here because he and I do another podcast together. So, we're recording a Spartan Speak on Thursday of this week. We're not going to do the same show twice. If it's nothing against Chris. It's just we do a separate podcast, so it doesn't make any sense.
Hans Jurgen, if Go Blow wins the Natty because their opinions in the college football playoffs are ravaged by COVID, would you acknowledge their championship?
Well, we acknowledge the 1957 MSU championship when they finished second in the Big Ten. So I guess we used to. Do we acknowledge championships before the playoff? It would definitely have a asterisk by it in a lot of people's minds, but you got to recruit depth. You got to keep yourself healthy. If they play the games, absolutely, I think people would.
Hans Jurgen, have you ever felt that your peers look down on you because you cover MSU instead of Go Blow? Welcome to our world, Couch.
I don't think anybody. I've never felt that. Because the other thing is in our in the peers we don't. It's not the same deal. I've never felt that.
Hans, if Omicron grew your penis by 3 inches, if you survived the pneumonia, would you seek infection? I know Jason wants this read.
You get a 3-inch larger penis if you have COVID. Would you seek COVID?
No, it works just fine right now. I don't need COVID to get another 3.
Yeah, if I was single and that had been an issue for me in life,
oh God, yeah,
you
can't imagine.
Yeah, right. Be totally different.
Sorry, 3-inch guy. Jake Hawkins. Does it kind of feel like 2021 went by so fast, and it kind of feels like we never really got to recover from 2020?
2021 is a weird year because it'll be remembered as, I don't know what it'll be remembered as, but 2020 is like a legendary forever year. Like it's a
Kobe dying first.
Yeah, it's one of and then this pandemic in 2021. Even though there were a lot of things, we're not out of the pandemic. It just kind of happened and it went quickly, but probably slowly. I don't. Yeah, no doubt. I'm with you, Jake.
Next from the Hawks, since last night's game at LCA felt like a home game for Oakland, how come there were more MSU fans in attendance?
Because there are just more MSU fans than Oakland fans. This is why their stadium seats like 4,000 or whatever. It's the arena. If you've been there, it's a cool place, but it's just more. First of all, Oakland used to be an extension of Michigan State when it first opened. There's just a smaller fan base. Michigan State's got that advantage, and it's the reason MSU is able to have a massive football program, and it's a Big Ten school, the bigger alumni base. There's just more people that care about Michigan State.
Next one from Jake. What bad habits are you going to try and kick as New Year's resolutions, only to come up short a week or two into the new year?
What's gonna fall short for you?
Craig Robinson, who I talk cards with a lot, baseball cards and whatnot, and we try to hold each other accountable for not buying retail baseball cards or basketball.
Okay.
So I know it's kind of lame, but I'm telling you, I've given up all of the vices except kind of weed.
Yeah.
Chewing tobacco, booze. I don't know.
And you've done really well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You've been incredibly disciplined, and your life's better for it too,
absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
It's better with Skyman. Thank you, Skyman.
Yeah, absolutely, Skyman. For me, right now I'm doing this great intermittent fasting thing that I've been doing for a little. Not
Did you just start or?
Well, I started again, but I've done it successfully. It's the perfect thing for me because the beauty of intermittent fasting, if you're somebody who struggles with food every once in a while, is like usually if you say, okay, I'm on this diet and I can't eat after 8 o'clock, and then one night you eat at 11 p.m. and you're off it and you feel like fuck it, but if you happen to eat at 11, you can still fast for 16 hours. You just can't eat the next day till like 3 p.m. So you can always make up for it the next day with great discipline. We'll see if I can keep that up. 2 weeks into the new year, if I'm still rolling at it, man.
So you eat like complete shit at 11 and then just not,
No, you're not supposed to. I'm just saying if you have a bad day, you're not completely off of it because you can make up for it by the next day being disciplined for longer is all I'm saying. It's not ideal. Ideally, you want to do like 11 to 7. You want to be your food window every day.
Upper Deck Jerk Guy. Have I ever told you guys I appreciate you? No.
I don't think you have, but we appreciate you. Thank you.
Are you on Santa's naughty or nice list?
I'd say.
I feel like I've been pretty good.
Yeah. Mostly.
Haven't been arrested.
Mostly good,
Been nice to people, except for people at Speedway holding up the line.
Yeah, those people.
Finally, from the Jerk Guy, can Aussie Jason wish me a Merry Christmas? Oh, yeah. I know. Upper Deck Jerk Guy, yeah? Merry Christmas. It's too hot in here.
Outstanding. We do wish all of you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We appreciate all of you being with us and playing a part in our show. Your hot takes, your Twitter questions, your Groovy Donut Twitter questions. We appreciate you supporting our sponsors. And thanks to Skymint. Go to skymint.com for location information and specials. As you know, Front 43 and Cask & Company. Our friends at Firekeepers, iCasino and Sportsbook. That is a great way to gamble, a great way to have fun with the games. They're our most recent to join with us. Midtown Brewing Company, Groovy Donuts, of course. Just Mark and Jay at North Coast Wealth Management. Have a Merry Christmas and a great New Year. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.